be good. Our health itself will be good. Now, when you now get to the waterways, plastic floating, dead animals floating, dead human being floating, microplastic dropping into the water, fish swallowing them, we eating the fish. It's a scandal. It's honestly a scandal. I think the more we put attention to the challenges of the environment and how waste is handled in this part of the world, the better for us. A mega city, 25 million people, still counting, and we cannot get waste right, waste disposal right. We're not ready.
The poor waste management system and then the flooding, they go hand in hand. So I just want to ask, would you think this is a challenge for the government? Because then again, we have the rules, don't dump your waste, and every other thing that the state government puts in place, but then people do not obey this. So is this a challenge for the government? Would you say the government cannot handle its residents?
No. You know, just like every other society, you know, these things are when you are trained for a long time. When you do something, when you are trained to do something, you know, right from day one, you will comply. You will comply. We are not throwing our hands up into surrender. We are doing our work. We are not complaining. But we are doing advocacy. We are talking. We are having meetings. We go for retreats. We talk to Lagosians through radio and television. We will continue to do that until we get civilized in such a way that you cannot, when you finish your bottled water, you know, through the window. We'll get to a time when people will not do it again. We'll get to a time when you don't see, you know, plastics on our roads, you know, cellophane paper. This takeaway place, you will not see it.
Environmental pollution is not the only challenge residents face as a result of improper waste disposal. The rising issue of climate change, a resulting effect of human activities, has upset the balance of nature. Rising sea levels, extreme weather conditions and intense droughts can wreak havoc on people's livelihoods and communities. A visit to an environmentalist helps paint a clearer picture of the disaster that awaits Lagos State if nothing is done about the nonchalance of residents and the government.
In Lagos, we have a situation where dump sites are located or sited away from the community, but there is no restriction that halts urbanization to that located dump site. So, for example, there's a place called Yanoba. The place was located about 25 years ago, and it was far from city. But there was no restriction in terms of urbanization, urban development. Today, there are houses surrounding that dump site. So, health-wise, the people living around that place are not safe. That's one. The Olusosun dump site at Ojota, when it was located, houses were far from that place. You know, it's a place that in those days, because the methane, when the heat from methane starts coming out, you see smoke coming out. You think they are burning the waste. They are not. It's the methane that is reacting. All right. So you see this is from distance. But today, houses have been built around that place, such that people who are living there, they are not safe. The water system is poisoned. It's not safe. All right. Then the methane that comes out of that emits from that place, it's not safe for the humans living around there.
Lagos State generates 13,000 tons of waste daily, but not all of the waste ends up at designated dump sites. Some end up in canals, drains, and on the road.
In terms of management of the dump sites, usually in most countries, these things are kind of like privatized to companies who are genuinely involved in environmental activities, to experts who understands this thing. Right, the government cannot do it alone. The government is expected to generate, to bring up, put up legislations. You know, they are supposed to be a kind of, they try to stabilize within the private sector and the public sector, right? But they are not expected to manage the dump sites. Professionals who understands the dangers and the kind of harmful chemicals that comes out of that dump site are supposed to manage the dump site. But here, an agency was created, Loma, to manage that dump site, okay? And those dump sites are not well managed. We gathered every year to discuss environment issues in Lagos State. You know, we call it the Climate Change Summit. bins, the big bins. Then Loma produce all those things. Today, what do we have? Do we have them at all? People have to find a way to just get their waste sorted out somewhere. During the same time of Ashola, every last Saturday of the month was the Environmental Sanitation Day, where everybody in the community will meet and they will discuss and they will see what they can do. Okay, these are the issues, these are the community issues, how they dump their waste, if they are going to dig the floor, and you know, a lot of things they do. But since they cancel the monthly sanitation, what has been happening? People pay less concern in terms of what happens within the environment, especially on waste disposal.
This sight and the smell being emitted and inhaled is a regular sight and way of life for Lagosians. Dumping waste at designated dump sites located around residential areas are a breeding ground for different sorts of contagious illnesses. Despite the fetid smell, trading activities take place around these dump sites, while motorists, passers-by and residents close to the dump sites battle with the stench daily.
I'm not okay with it because I have breathing issue. Though I thank God that God is taking control. But this thing has affected me again after I got cured. So government should do something about it.
It has affected everybody around this place. Both residents, bypassers, everybody. Every living human being is being affected by this thick smoke here.
According to the World Health Organization, globally, almost 1 in 10 people are estimated to fall ill every year from eating contaminated food, while 420,000 die from foodborne diseases, which can be deadly, especially in children under 5 years of age, and out of the 420 deaths, 1/3 are children. The World Health Body also says making the environment healthier can prevent about 13 million deaths yearly and avoid 13% to 37% of the world's disease burden.
When these places have been contaminated with pollutants, with debris, it blocks the flow of water. And so because it blocks the flow of water, and this was originally a canal that would have served as a route for water to move, the water comes up and fill people's homes.
Sometimes when you see children with diarrhea, you battle and they die. You cry, you feel depressed. I remember in one of the situations, one of the instances, the baby was probably playing, a day before and got bad. The mother, they were trying to do what they like. But by the time they brought the baby, lady was bad. An emergency room, the baby died.
The revelation by the medical practitioners raised some form of concern as I proceeded to the Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board for an interview with the permanent secretary of the board, Ibrahim Akinwumi Mustafa. After an official request through a letter submitted at the office of the permanent secretary and series of calls and message exchanges with the public relations officer of the board, Olumide Filani, my continuous request for an interview with the permanent secretary was turned down with jet lag as an excuse. The request for statistics of Lagos State residents who have been treated for cholera and other diseases contracted through food or water since the start of 2022 was also turned down, as I was informed that such data cannot be easily provided to me for reasons best known to the board.
Coming from weeks back where I was told I could get the statistics or the data, it seems like a failed day.
However, according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, in its July 4th to 31st, 2022 report, citing routine case-based data and outbreak line lists retrieved by the National Cholera Technical Working Group, Lagos had 47 suspected cases of cholera, with 1 death. Also, the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control states that as of July 31st, 2022, a total of 3,610 cholera cases, including 91 deaths, were reported from 31 states in Nigeria, and that as of September 16th, 2022, 1,087 suspected cholera cases, including 13 deaths, were reported in Nigeria.
A sit-down interview with a public health expert on the way forward is next on the agenda as Dr. Akanem narrates the poor living condition of Lagosians and its side effects.
I have managed a number of patients who had cholera, some had hepatitis A, some had amoebic dysentery, and others had diarrhea. And of course, there are clear symptoms of this condition, like vomiting, stooling, of course, like abdominal pain, and many other symptoms that are characteristics of cholera or amoebic dysentery or hepatitis A. I've practically seen cases where people also have their food stuff, their fruits and other things they sell, edible commodities, fall into gutters, fall into flood water, and they still pick it up and sell it to Lagosians. These are some of the things that are causing the myriads of diseases that we see in Lagos year in, year out. Have you wondered why Lagos is the epicenter of disease infection across the length and breadth of Nigeria? It's because of the poor drainage and the poor disposal of waste. Unfortunately, these are the things that we are experiencing in Lagos. This must stop, and for this to stop, we must improve our sewage disposal, we must improve the disposal of waste materials, and we must limit air pollution as much as possible.
Taking a walk around the surrounding of the health expert's residence, and you can tell the reason behind his passionate call for a cleaner Lagos.
I stay in Lagos, and I can tell you that in my location where I stay in Lagos, waste is not properly disposed. The gutters are very dirty, and there's no conscious effort to ensuring that Lagos is clean. We pay our dues as at when due, but unfortunately, the waste management agencies are not doing their work.
In July 2022, an unprecedented 2-day rainfall claimed the lives of 3 children of the same parents and 4 adults at the Mercy of Christ Apostolic Church in Lagos State. This is one of the many incidents that have transpired in the state, with many living in fear during the rainy season.
On the 8th day of that continuous rainfall, which was on a Sunday, the entire Lagos was flooded. And I have a personal friend who works with a bank who was called to come restore funds in the ATM machine. He went there and he was coming back with the wife, and they got their vehicles got taken over by the heavy flow of water, and they dumped them in the wide drainage around Bagada. And after 3 days, that was when they saw their bodies, and this person I'm talking about happens to be my account manager at the GT Bank as at then. So that's my own experience. There are a lot of experiences in Lagos that we have experienced, even in other cities as well. Drains, even in other cities outside Lagos State, where flooding has been responsible for, unnecessary loss of life, and that wasn't the only experience. In that particular year, about a total of 21 people died across Lagos State in different communities.
May we not have the kind of flooding we have in other climes, which will lead to the deaths of hundreds of people. That's one that almost 1,000 people died, I think, either in Pakistan or so. First, government will sympathize with the people. This is a natural thing that we cannot prevent. You sympathize, show empathy.
The National Emergency Management Agency says flood has claimed the lives of over 300 people in 2022, with the figure on the rise as bad roads and blocked drainages have led to increased flooding. A World Bank publication, Cost of Pollution in Lagos, estimates that illness and premature deaths due to ambient air pollution caused losses of $2.1 billion in 2018, representing 2.1% of the state's GDP. For the government, the environmental challenges residents face is no fault of theirs, but mainly that of the residents. Nigeria's commercial hub and former capital was ranked 171 out of 172 countries in the list of the world's second least livable urban area and worst city in Africa, leaving the city with its economic, political and security challenges to also dwell in a heap of waste. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
It's good to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. Ahead of Saturday's supplementary elections in 2,660 polling units across the country, the Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Khali Baba has assured voters of their safety at the polls. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had during the February 25 and March 18 elections declared some governorship, National Assembly and State Assembly polls inconclusive and directed a rerun. Widespread violence and voter suppression had marred the February 25 and March 18 polls, fueling voter apathy. In a statement, Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Dejobi said the police boss has ordered the deployment of policemen to 185 local government areas across 24 states of the Federation, where supplementary polls will be held. The IGP also urged the electorate in the affected states to come out in mass to exercise their franchise and be law-abiding while maintaining peace and orderliness. And 15 terrorists with pledged loyalists to the bandit kingpin Dankarami have been killed by troops of Operation Hadarin Daji in Zamfara state. The casualties include Dankarami's top commander, simply identified as Jarfa. The terrorists who attempted to attack Gidan Danjima and Kirifada communities within Benin Magaji local government area of the state were successfully repelled by the troops in conjunction with local vigilantes. The bandits in their large numbers were conducting the burial of the deceased members at a graveyard in Masaba village under Zurmi local government area of the state, and troops were quickly mobilized, leading to the death of the 15 terrorists. However, 2 soldiers and 4 local vigilante members sustained varying degrees of gunshot injuries during the shootout. And the Ogun State sector of the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC has disclosed that 7 persons were burnt beyond recognition and 17 others injured in a crash record along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to a statement issued in Abeokuta, the state capital, by the Public Education Officer and Chief Routes Commander Florence Ope, the fatal crash occurred at about 9 a.m. on Thursday. According to the FRSC, the suspected cause of the fatal crash was excessive speed and route violation. The injured victims were said to have been taken to nearby hospitals, while bodies of the deceased have been deposited at a morgue. And no fewer than 7 persons have been rescued from the rubble of a 7-story building that collapsed on Wednesday on 1st Avenue in the Banana Island area of Ikoyi, Lagos State. According to some eyewitnesses, construction workers were performing their daily tasks in the building that had been under construction for months when it suddenly caved in around 4:58 p.m. The workers were said to be working on the 6th floor and were trying to lay the 7th floor when the building collapsed. Our correspondent Simisola Digun has more details in this next report.
A barricaded entrance and tight security. This was the scene that greeted journalists who arrived at the estate of the building collapse in Banana Island, Lagos. On Wednesday, a video capturing the moment a 7-story building caved in went viral, joining a long list of building collapses recorded in the state.
Who brought you in?
Journalists, however, were prevented from entering the estate where the incident happened, which, according to the security officials, was based on established protocol. Drama ensued between the chief executive officer of the estate and journalists, who resisted the protocol when they began trooping in.
Let them shoot. They want to shoot.
It took the intervention of the Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Femi Osoyintolu, to calm the tension.
Gentlemen, there is no problem here. We've been working with the people in here, and there is no problem. You can come and see what we've been doing.
Okay, let's go.
Give us time. You will go on scene. Just calm down.
The collapsed building, contracted to Joe Faraday Limited, is one of 4 high-rise structures under construction. The other 3 9 stories are still standing.
After about 5 hours of being kept outside, we're finally here in the premises of the building collapse in Banana Island. As you can see behind me, rescue operations are ongoing. Officials are on ground trying to get into the rubble of the building, at least to try and rescue people who are possibly trapped underneath.
Addressing the journalists at the scene of the incident, Osoyintolu said all efforts are being put into the search and rescue operation.
The life side was divided into 4 quadrants. Now, and we checked each of the quadrants with our DELSA, and we did not locate anybody under the debris with our DELSA. However, because we are professionals and meticulous about what we are doing, we are using a hammer and excavator with cranes together. We started moving from one layer to another. And during this emergency response, we are able to rescue 7 people alive. Those people that were rescued were treated on the spot and discharged. It's only one that was taken to a private hospital where it's receiving adequate treatment.
The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Special Duties and Intergovernmental Relations said an integrity test will be conducted on the other buildings to prevent another collapse.
Upon getting to the scene, we realized that the building had come down. Our Lasambos were already on ground by the time I personally got here. In terms of fatalities, which you've asked, as of this moment, we have not recorded any fatalities as of this moment. We're here, our equipment are here. What we're trying to do now is to see how we can go through the rubbles very quickly to see if, and indeed, there are any fatalities that we can recover, as the case may be.
The Banana Island building collapsed in Lagos on Wednesday, a list of building collapses recorded in the state in recent times. In 2022 alone, the state recorded 20 incidents of building collapse. Sinisola Adigun, TV360, Lagos.
And the Steering Committee on National Poverty Reduction with Growth Strategy has disclosed that only 50 billion naira out of the 400 billion naira approved in 2022 for the reduction of poverty and growth enhancement in the country had been expended by both the federal and state governments. The co-chairman of the committee and governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, made this known while speaking with State House correspondents after the meeting chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Sule, who spoke in company of the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, and Agriculture, Mohammed Abubakar, also said the project was a national project and not restricted to states. The meeting of the Steering Committee on National Poverty Reduction with Growth Strategy was inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari in June 2021.
The meeting of the Steering Committee, on national poverty reduction with growth strategy. The committee that was inaugurated by Mr. President in June 2021. And if you remember also in July 2022, the same steering committee being chaired by the Vice President sat down and reviewed a presentation by the Technical Working Group, which is chaired by the Honorable Minister of State, Budget and Planning, as well as myself as the co-chair. So we presented, the approval of the 400 billion naira and the distribution of how it will be spent. So today we just came to review the implementation, and the update of the spending so far and also approval for this year's spending for the same committee. So that's really what just happened. This is not a governor thing. It is actually a national project, where Mr. President, based on the advice, recommendation actually of the Presidential Economic Advisory Committee and the Office of the SGF, make a recommendation for this particular committee to be formed. So it's a national thing. It's not for any particular state. Now, based on that, and the recommendation that was made, and from what we received from the chairman of the technical working group, over 50 billion has been spent so far. So the performance so far is low, is not yet where we expect to go, but nearly every aspect of the 15 areas where the spending will be carried out, Ministry of Social Development, Ministry of Agri, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Water Resources, and then Ministry of Finance and National Planning as well. So every one of them has some kind of implementation one after another.
And out to politics, the president-elect Bola Tinubu says the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has always lost his bid to lead the country since 1993. Tinubu asked Atiku not to see his loss at the last election as strange, arguing that it would have been a miracle for the PDP and its candidate to win in view of the crisis rocking the party before and during the elections. The president-elect said these in his response to the petition filed by Atiku and the PDP before the presidential election petition court, in which they are praying to be declared the winner or for the court to order a rerun. Tinubu equally said that Atiku's emergence as PDP's candidate fueled the crisis in the party, resulting in 5 of its sitting governors resolving to work against him and ensure he lost. The president-elect's response was filed by his team of lawyers led by Wale Olanipekun, who described the petition as not only frivolous but an abuse of court process. And the Senate has sustained the indictment of former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, over the payment of 74 billion naira as social benefits without breakdown in the 2016 budget. The Auditor General of the Federation and the 2016 report had raised concern over the payment of 262.4 billion naira as social benefits against the 188 billion naira provided for in the budget, resulting in extra budgetary payment of 74 billion naira without breakdown. When the representative of the Accountant General appeared before the Senate Public Accounts Committee to respond to the query, the Accountant General accepted the observation of the Auditor General. The committee therefore recommended to the Senate that the Accountant General should refund 74 billion naira in line with financial regulation. And the only female aspirant in the race for the speakership of the 10th House of Representatives, Miriam Onwoha, has urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the dwindling number of women in the parliament for equity and inclusivity. The lawmaker, who is representing Okigwe North in Imo State, made the call in Abuja during her declaration of interest for the office of the Speaker of the 10th Legislative Assembly. She says her emergence as Speaker will usher in pragmatic solutions to the current challenges of national cohesion, as well as preferring a new legislative agenda for addressing the current issues of the nation's dwindling economy.
Something drastic, something deliberate has to be done to ensure that the number of women participation in politics is increased. We are all aware that the last election witnessed low turnout. Low turnout owing to the fact partly that women who largely control the votes might have been cut out, owing to the fact that there is poor inducement of their fellow women to vote. And even with the small numbers that came out, over 60% of the voters have been proved to be women. How best and how best can this teeming Nigerian female voters be rewarded, if not by electing a woman on the presiding seat of the National Assembly and the House of Representatives, in particular, to be a thank you for standing in the sun, for standing in the rain, for daring the daredevils, for daring those who said there will be no election, whereas women came out in their numbers to give everybody votes, including the men. It is not possible for a man to speak for us on issues that bother women when we have credible and qualified women like myself. I am ranking. I am also of the All Progressives Congress. I qualify and I suitably am able to oust all the men on this contest. And like you are aware, in almost all, about 90 positions of this country, the men have dominated it. Ceding this one position to me will be a way of proving that we are running an inclusive government.
We'll take a break now and be back with more stories, to stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. 2 of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so... Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey.
Okay, which came out with this one? I don't understand. You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. In case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime Export TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on all social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 stories and updates. The Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, says the global economy has proven remarkably resilient to multiple shocks, but is yet to overcome a combination of weak growth and sticky inflation. Georgieva told a news conference at the IMF and World Bank meetings in Washington on Thursday that after recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic and suffering setbacks from high inflation and spillovers from the war in Ukraine, policymakers have 2 main tasks in the near term: fighting persistent inflation and safeguarding financial stability. She added that the IMF's projection of 2.8% global growth for 2023 is not enough to bring opportunities to businesses and people around the world. And India has recorded over 10,158 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, while the active infections surged to nearly 50,000 mark, according to the Union Health Ministry. This represents a massive 30% jump in the number of daily COVID-19 cases. The nationwide COVID-19 recovery rate has been recorded at 98.72%, while the case fatality rate was recorded at 1.19%. The Union Health Ministry says the current rise in COVID-19 cases is being driven by XBB.1.16, also known as Arcturus, which is a sub-variant of the Omicron variant. We'll take another break and be back with business updates.
Yeah, relax. That is my brother and I want him out of this station now. Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO, how are you?
No, welcome, sir.
That is my brother and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for the weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know who is here. That boy is my brother and I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found the gun, confessed to robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember,
Police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Now in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has proposed that banks should transfer funds in accounts that have been dormant for up to 10 years into a trust fund account. This is contained in the recently released exposure draft of guidelines on the management of dormant accounts, unclaimed balances and other financial assets in banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria, signed by the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department of the Apex Bank, Chibuzo Efobi. The draft adds that banks and other financial institutions are expected to transfer all unclaimed funds into an unclaimed balances trust fund pool account, which will be domiciled at the CBN. The Apex Bank says the balances will be invested in government securities like treasury bills and would not be returned to the beneficiaries no later than 10 days of notice. Aviation workers' unions have threatened to withdraw their services over the refusal of the federal government to release the reviewed condition of service negotiated over 7 years ago. Other grievances include the non-implementation of the national minimum wage, consequential adjustments and arrears for the workers of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency since 2019, and a notice of a two-day warning strike signed by the Secretaries General of 5 aviation unions. The unions revealed that if the warning strike scheduled to commence on April 17 failed, an indefinite strike would be embarked upon. And oil prices rose on Friday on worries of a tightening supply, with the market looking ahead to the International Energy Agency's monthly report later in the day to clarify the global demand outlook. Brent futures climbed 36 cents to $86 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 43 cents to $82 a barrel. Both benchmarks fell more than 1% in the previous session. And on the global scene, countries must do more to avert the costly consequences of growing global trade fragmentation and help avert a second Cold War, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said. Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, in a briefing on Thursday, said multilateral institutions like the World Bank and IMF have an important role to play in preventing the world from splintering into different blocs with severe economic consequences. Meanwhile, member states have agreed on a number of steps to boost the World Bank's financial capacity, freeing it up to lend as much as $50 billion of new financing over the next decade. Well, up next is Entertainment Report.
A short film inspired by the Boko Haram abduction of Chibok girls in 2014 will start streaming on April 14, 2023. The movie follows a seemingly ordinary day for 15-year-old Musa, a school student whose life forever changes following a bus encounter with a young girl. The film also confronts the unsettling truth about the mass adoption of children in Nigeria and a timely reminder of the country's most infamous terror event, Boy Meets Girl, produced by Adnan Mohammed Ali and Konaj Johnson Omodaigbe, has won the award for Outstanding Experimental Film at the 2021 Abuja International Film Festival. Following the recent engagement between Nini and Saga, former housemate of the popular Nigeria reality TV show Big Brother Naija, Saga has recently made a U-turn on his previous claims that his engagement to fellow ex-housemate Nini was just a skit. Saga in an interview revealed that he's not that idle to just propose in order to make people laugh. He noted that he proposed to Nini in December following a brand engagement for a wine company. He also pleaded with his supporters, fans and Nigerians in general to respect his fiancée and him so that they could live their lives in private. That's it on the entertainment segment of News Now.
And now in sports, Manchester United created an unwanted European record after their 2-2 draw against Sevilla in the Europa League quarter-finals first leg at Old Trafford. On loan signing, Marcel Sabitzer scored 2 goals in the 14th and 21st minutes, but on goals from Terrell Malacia and Harry Maguire in the 84th minute and 93rd minutes respectively saw Sevilla claw back the deficit, making United the first English side to score 2 own goals in a single knockout match in a major European competition. The Red Devils will be back in action in the league when they visit Nottingham Forest on Sunday. And that's our news bulletin this morning. Thank you for staying with us. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
A very good morning to you, Nigeria, and welcome to another edition of What's Your Take? My name is Dayo Akintobi, and I'll be taking you through all the major stories that made the headlines last week. First, I begin by wishing all of Nigeria a very happy Easter, and may the reason for the season be made manifest in the lives of each and every one of us. As always, I have with me my trusty sidekick, Yetunde Afolabi, who will be reading out the news and telling us all about the major stories of last week. Yetunde, how are you today?
Morning, Dai. I'm very well, thank you.
And how was your Easter? Did you have lots of free John and fish? You know, Good Friday, we're not supposed to eat meat as Christians. So the meal of choice for Good Friday is something called free John. Do you know what that is and what it's made of?
No, I don't. That's the first time I'm hearing it.
Ah, okay, interesting. All right, perhaps we should go for some culinary lessons after the show is over. Anyway, Nigeria, trust you're all having a lovely holiday weekend. This is a season of holiday breaks. Easter, there are 2 days of public holidays. Shortly after, there'll be another 2 days for Eid al-Fitr, which is the end of the Muslim fasting. Shortly after that, there'll be May Day, which is Labor Day for workers. That'll be a holiday. And then after that, we're going to have the census, which is another 3 days of no work, which is a good thing for workers because we can sleep. Those of us who are salaried, 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck people, we can get extra rest. But employers don't like it, and daily paid workers don't like it either. So anyway, let's make the best we can of all the holiday seasons. And now in the news yesterday or over the weekend, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo visited the Dia family to commiserate with them over the demise of the late General Dia. And something struck me about what the good Vice President said. He said General Dia proved there's life after public service. That struck me as rather poignant because guess what? The Vice President's tenure itself is winding down now, and I'm wondering, was he looking at what his life will be like after he leaves office? He's saying there's still a whole lot more to life after you leave public service. I'm sure the good people of Nigeria expect to still see Professor Osinbajo being active in national, global, regional, and diplomatic and all kinds of other affairs, in as much as he seems to have acquitted himself quite admirably as the Vice President of the country. So, sir, we look forward to still seeing you out there serving the public even after you've left office as Vice President. All right. So, the focus of our show today is on the security situation across the country. There seems to have been a bit of a lull when the elections were happening, but all of a sudden now insecurity is rife all over again. So the focus of our show today is on the insecurity situation that's raging across the country. Lucky for us, our guest today is someone who can tell us a thing or two about security. Joining me to give his take on the big stories that made the headlines last week is Bamidele Ologundudu. Mr. Ologundudu is a retired Major General of the Nigerian Army. Welcome to What's Your Take, General. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. On a lighter note, let me just ask. The literal translation of your name from Yoruba to English is Black Warrior Ologundudu. Do you think you are destined to be a soldier? I mean, your name is so apt to the career you chose. Do you think that's destiny in the making, that you more or less became a warrior in defense of Nigeria as a career, especially as that's what your name signifies?
I think it's destiny because I wanted to be a doctor. Maybe you are aware of that. If I should tell you, I got supplementary form to enter Nigerian Defense Academy, so it wasn't planned. I just took supplementary form because I had my GCO levels then, and I just saw a supplementary advertisement. Please, if you have your GCO levels, come and write your exams. And I went to write the exams, and today I'm a retired Major General. So it was destiny, not planned. It was supposed to be medical doctor, planned.
Well, destiny has a way of throwing us curveballs on the best laid plans. So, Black Warrior, welcome to our show. Yesterday, over to you. Don't dare call him Black Warrior when you address him. He's General. Because the army...
Ladies have immunity with me.
Ladies have immunity. Oh, you won't make a frog jump on the Ikorodu Road. You should call him Black Warrior.
Ladies have immunity.
Okay. All right. Yesterday, General says insurance covers you. So, go ahead.
Banditry and kidnapping. Business has resumed fully after a lull occasioned by the elections. There's been a rash of killings, abductions, and general mayhem unleashed across the country in recent days. In Benue State alone, suspected killer herdsmen gunned down 87 people in Benue State within 48 hours, 34 of them in a nocturnal attack on an IDP camp on Good Friday. In Zamfara State, 80 children were kidnapped by terrorists, bringing the number of Nigerians kidnapped by gunmen to 333 over a 6-week period. Gunmen and terrorists have also been responsible for attacks in Abuja, Lagos, Cross River, Niger, Taraba, Rivers, Delta, Edo, Nasarawa, Kaduna, Kano, Ondo, Adamawa, Ekiti, Ogun, Osun, and Plateau states. The burning question on Nigerian lips is, amid all this mayhem, where are our security forces? Where's the DSS? Where's the army? Where's the police? Perhaps your guest can help us better understand what is happening or not happening. Dio, over to you.
General, yesterday paints a really bleak picture of the security situation across the country. Things are so dire that Governor Autumn of Benue State told President Buhari ahead of the weekend that beyond condolences, he should go and fish out the killers of Benue people. Surely that must be a first. A governor rejecting the president's condolences over the killing of the people in his state. How do you see this whole insecurity issue? I mean, IDP camp, internally displaced persons camp. These are people who are impoverished, who are dislocated, who are desperate, and you go there and you eliminate so many of them. What is fueling this insecurity problem? You, as an insider in the Army and a current consultant to the Nigerian Army Resource Center, can you give us an insight into what really is responsible for this insecurity in the country?
Yeah. I think it's a combination of bad governance, and what I will call inability of Nigerian police to function. Whether you like it or not, internal security is the job for Nigerian police. Until you restructure, re-equip, and retrain the Nigerian police to do its job, I don't think we are going to have a solution to this security problem. I could see when you are listing those who should be responsible, you first mentioned Nigerian Army even before Nigeria police. It's totally wrong. Where are the mobile police force? You must have an organization ready to confront violent crimes. Until you have that, they do it 24/7. The military is not supposed to do that. We are not the ones to do that. We can help, we can come in, but you need an organization 24/7 pursuing the bad guys, the violent criminals. And until you have that, you can solve Nigerian problem. The Nigerian police must be restructured, re-equipped, retrained to do its job.
But General, the homegrown terrorism we have nowadays, the terrorists we have, they carry sophisticated weapons, they have deep funding, they have the resources that they can marshal for major onslaughts. It's the Nigerian police who still carry ancient AK-47s, who don't have money to fuel their vehicles, who are not really trained in the type. I mean, Nigerian police, the way we see it as Nigerian public, is that they are for enforcement of law and order, traffic control, investigating crimes like murder, local crimes that are within communities. But when you're looking at an organized effort like terrorism, an enemy you can't see, is the Nigerian police, isn't that why the army was called in? Is because it is beyond the capability of the Nigerian police to cope with?
Well, I think we are getting it wrong. Internal security is a secondary assignment for the military. It's not our primary assignment. We can be called in to help, but once the situation stabilizes, we are supposed to withdraw. The truth is, it is the job of the police. And by the way, our police no longer carries guns and the type of guns you are talking about. They carry Kalashnikovs, just like my men. Mm-hmm. And the problem is their training, the ability to confront the robbers. You can't fail to train. You can't fail to equip. You can't fail to organize. And you want to face robbers that are now organized, criminals that are now organized. Mind you, it's more or less a business, a criminal business enterprises we have in Nigeria. And that is why they are so organized. And you have their names, and some of them take ransoms and they come, you know, in the open and talk.
Do I hear you making a case for state police? Because you're talking about the fact that there needs to be a restructuring, that there needs to be re-equipping, retraining, all kinds of stuff. Are you alluding to the fact that maybe power should devolve from the center in terms of security?
Well, I always believe you cannot protect my little village from Ondo State all the way from Abuja. It's not possible. And it seems we have accepted more or less, at least in theory, that we must have state police. But beyond state police, you must also have an organization or a force that should be able to confront the very violent crimes. I'm talking of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism. You must have that force.
Within the police?
Within the police, or if you can't, if we know we can't go back to the mobile force, then we must go for an internal security force. President Babangida was trying to create National Guard, and it should have been what should have done that job, the National Guard. But we don't have it. We shouldn't be crying over split milk. So we should be talking about either the mobile police force stepping up to do their job, or we create an internal security force, one way or the other, to fully engage the violent criminals. We can't just allow them to run around without a force dedicated to check them.
So General basically puts it all at the foot of government and says that government needs to review the way security is structured in the country, and perhaps for now we can't really sleep with two eyes closed, because at this point in time the security architecture is the way it is, and we shouldn't really be seeing the army at polling units for elections, seeing the army at Lekki Toll Gate for NSAS. These are all things for the police, is what General is saying. But until we get to a point where we structure our security architecture it will continue to be the way it is, and unfortunately that means insecurity will continue to rage. So please watch out for your families, your property, your life, and stay safe out there. All right, Yetunde, what do you have next?
The Defense Headquarters, DHQ, has condemned the clamor for an interim government by those unhappy with the outcome of the presidential election, stating that an ING is illegal and unconstitutional. The DHQ went on to warn that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced the president-elect, and as such, there can be no such thing as an interim government. Other political and social groups have also condemned the idea, with the APC, the PDP, and the NNPP all agreeing that the call for an interim government amounts to advocating for a coup, which is treasonable and unpatriotic. The House of Representatives has also dismissed the calls for an interim government, asking the DSS to arrest enemies of democracy. The Labour Party has, however, said that the military cannot interpret the Constitution, advising that the DHQ to avoid politics. A media aide to Peter Obi, the party's presidential candidate, Tayo Basi, was quoted to have said that the military should stick to its defense role instead of striving to interpret the Constitution for Nigerians. All yours, Ayo.
General, as a high-ranking military officer while in service, you were privy to the thinking of the Nigerian army of its role in society. Should it stick to securing the territorial integrity of the country and avoid political issues, or is it proper for the army to put its head inside issues that border on constitutionality, the way the DHQ is weighing in on this issue of an interim government?
Well, the Constitution is quite clear. We don't have any business with politics, even though we teach that politics is war by other means, and when you fight war, it's an extension of politics. But the truth is we have no business in politics. I'm proud of the leadership of the military now. They are capable, very intelligent officers, and they know what they are doing. I think they've said it. We are not interested. It is the job of the politicians. Let them do their job. I think that is just the best way to put it.
Do you see these calls for an interim government as tantamount to being a coup? And if that's the case, who can carry out a coup? Can the average ordinary Nigerian out on the street carry out a coup and impose an interim government? Who can make that happen?
I just call it little nonsense of Nigerian politicians. You know the problem. It's just personal interest. There is no interim government in the Constitution. There is nothing like that. And I would not like to go into who can carry out a coup or who cannot carry out a coup. But I can tell you the military is apolitical. The military is ready to face its job of defending the country. We are not interested in it. I mean, I'm a retired officer, and I can tell you the officers and soldiers wearing uniform now who are on active service are intelligent to know that they should not be lured by politicians to doing what they are not supposed to do. And I think it has been addressed by the defense headquarters. We are not interested. Thank you.
The Nigerian Army, a professional fighting force dedicated to defending the territorial integrity of the country and nothing more. General, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture, last week in the United States of America, essentially warned the Labour Party presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate that they should desist from the kind of rhetoric that they've been pushing out on the airwaves and on the pages of newspapers that they see as inciting. They are warning them that some of their claims amount to insurrection, amount to advocating an insurrection, and some of their comments border on the treasonable. This is all emanating from the fact or the incident of when Baba Ahmed Dati Baba Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate, went on air and essentially said the president-elect must not be inaugurated on May 29th because he did not fulfill the constitutional requirement, especially as it relates to the FCT. Now, legal minds have said that's up to the court to determine and not an individual. But he was very vehement in his claims that such an injustice must not be allowed to stand. Well, the government has warned him now that he's bordering on treason. What exactly is treason? And I remember treasonable felony in Awolowo's time. I think that's very different from what's happening here. What is a treasonable offense? And are Nigerian politicians verging on treason?
Well, Labour Party is a new kid on the block, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
They are sounding like just any other old political parties, you know. When you lose, you start shouting and you start saying the building should collapse and things like that. I think when you incite people to go against the government, to overthrow the government of the day, then you are becoming treasonous. They call for interim national government. It's not in the constitution. I don't know how we are going to get into that. I'll be interested in them that, you know, I would have loved them to tell me how do you form the interim national government, and they back it up with the relevant portion of the constitution where you can do that. But they've not done that. I think the new kids on the block are just behaving like the old ones, you know, just the main thing is they are saying things that are just, you know, to their benefits and to their advantage, and they are not talking about Nigeria. Maybe because you don't teach history again. The last interim national government, you know where it led us. Maybe because you don't teach history again in the schools, even though someone said they've started again, you know. But I think if we learn from history, nobody should be talking about interim national government. It's not in the constitution. And we had a bad experience of it. So it's just the new kid of the block behaving like the old ones.
Well, do you think there's a double standard at play here? Because we see Alhaji Lai Mohammed, of course, who's of the ruling party, taking on the opposition and saying the things you say. But we see some people from the APC also come out and say some terrible things publicly, even on TV, on social media. They've also said things that I would say is no different from what that he's been accused of. So how is it morally upright if you have different standards for different players?
Well, it's not good, but that was what I told you. I think some of us are talking about Labour Party because, as I said, they should be the new kids on the block. And you expect them not to behave like the old politicians. If anybody from the old group should say anything, I'll just say, okay, that's the normal thing. But new kids on the block with the obedience and following them, I would love us. I would love we have new things coming up, you know, politics being something that we can all be proud of, you know, all those unnecessary things not being spoken again, you know, let us have politics. But if you are a new kid on the block and you are talking like a candidate in the 2011 and 2001, I would say, then what's the difference? Mm-hmm. I think that's just the problem. Okay. Otherwise, well, all our politicians, that's what they do.
So all upstarts need to go through a period of tutelage, and they need to more or less pay their dues and learn the ropes before they too can begin bearing their chest like the elder statesmen politicians. All right, yesterday we're fast running out of time, so give us our last story for today, please.
Brain drain. A bill to prevent Nigerian-trained medical or dental practitioners from being granted licenses until they have worked for a minimum of 5 years in the country has passed second reading at the House of Representatives. The Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, has however opposed the bill, demanding instead improved welfare for doctors. Over to you, Dayo.
General, our lawmakers are in the habit of running off abroad for medical treatment for even minor ailments. Is it morally right for them to seek to stop our medical doctors from seeking better fortunes in other countries? Isn't the ideal solution one where work conditions and emoluments of our medical practitioners. Indeed, all professions in Nigeria are improved to the point that no one has to seek a better life elsewhere?
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Is anybody receiving good pay package? Are you receiving a good pay package in Nigeria?
Well, it could always be better. That's why I said all professions. It's not just medical.
Yeah.
It's not just medical and dental. All professions.
I think I would like to see them pass the law and let them test the constitutionality. I have a feeling it's going to fail. I'm not a lawyer. But the way I take the question of brain drain, as I've always told my friends, I think it's a phase in national development. It will come and go. Thank God that most of our rural areas depend on Agbo and the rest. but I think it's something we should be careful about. You know, we should make our medical professionals and other professionals, you know, we should make them comfortable as much as possible within the limits of our, you know, coffers, so that we can give them the best and they give us the best. I wouldn't like anybody to leave because I'm poorly paid. If you say you want to leave because we are too many or things like that, or you want more training, I would like that better than what is happening now. But I still believe it's a phase of national development. We are going to get through this. India and Pakistan were once like us. I think our physics teacher then in Ibobi College was a Pakistani.
Okay, so the general does not believe that the mass exodus of Nigerians to other climes is detrimental to national development. In fact, he thinks it's a relatively good thing. That, of course, hinges on them going to other climes, learning stuff, and coming back to play a role in developing our dearly beloved country. And that is the much we can take today on What's Your Take. I've been discussing with one of Nigeria's gallant soldiers who served this country meritoriously throughout his career. Thank you, General Bamidele Ologundudu, aka Black Warrior, for joining us on the program today.
It's been nice being here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you all for watching Nigeria. My name is Dayo Akintobi. We'll see you again next time. Have a great day and a superb week ahead. All the best.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the president of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
technology continues to advance globally, Nigerian youths are ensuring that they take the center stage of the fast-paced world of innovative inventions. From creating impressive programs to inventing new products, Nigerian youths are daily enhancing the quality of life and entrepreneurship that has a huge impact across Africa and the globe. Hello and welcome to another episode of Startups with me, Abisola Adebayo. On the program today, we'll be talking to two of these geniuses that are using technology to enhance the country's development. In Oyo State, Southwest Nigeria, Olushola Ayola has established a center to train Nigerians on robotics and artificial intelligence. And in Lagos, Onyeka Owika has created an application that helps save power consumption. How exactly are these guys able to do all of this? I'm just as curious as you are, but we'll be finding out in just a moment.
What RAIN does is the first of its kind in Nigeria and perhaps in West Africa, because we receive applications from Egypt, Liberia, Ghana, and so on. We do training and certification in robotics and artificial intelligence, which is the future. And developed countries are already beginning to struggle to take a position there. So normally Africa or Nigeria should just wait for all of that to be developed first before we take interest. But RAIN is saying no to that. My name is Dr. Olushola Ayola. I'm the founder of Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria.
Artificial intelligence, AI, is the technology of making machines perform tasks considered possible only with human intelligence. This technology has ushered in tremendous opportunities, leading to leapfrog development and attainment of economic growth and prosperity across developed and developing nations of the world. However, in Nigeria, the giant of Africa, the pace of innovation and artificial intelligence adoption has been slow, mainly due to the lack of adequate knowledge about the technology. Having lived and schooled in the United Kingdom for years, helping the country with developing ground and underwater robots and artificial intelligence, Olushola Ayola decided to return home and help his home country with the skill set and experience he's acquired. This electrical engineer was determined to prove that AI can improve the livelihood of Nigerians only if there can be enough Nigerian-based experts in the promising field. In 2019, he founded Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria RAIN, a foremost training, research and innovation center focused on the creation and development of artificial intelligence-enabled technology.
I mean, when I was done with my PhD and I was done with saving and I was done with working there, even though I was working in a robotics company that was helping the UK government to decommission their nuclear storage sites, I felt it was time to go and develop that skill in Nigeria for my people. Because many times when the UK needs to get a particular robot built, they do the design there, they send it to China. So China guys would actually build the robot and send it back to UK. And I felt, wait, why can't they send it to Nigeria? Because after all, I'm the one in the company that China will send it back to, and I'll try to get it back to standard. Unfortunately, whenever I tried to contact people in Nigeria, do you know how to use this? Do you know how to use that? They all say, no, we were not taught, or we were not taught very well, or we don't remember it because we've not been practicing it. So I felt, let's have a new kind of education system where we get projects to do, we get people to train, and we get research to do. So it's all busy. It's like a Silicon Valley of ideas here in Nigeria. And so we set it up. If we had said you can only come to RAIN if you are a computer science graduate with 2-1 or anything, we'll be limiting a number of people. because you would agree with me that many people are very good when it comes to hands-on, but may not be good when it comes to WAEC or NECO or all those JAMB exams. And so, for us at RAIN, to get into RAIN to study, you need to be above 15 years old. So that means you should have finished secondary school, and you should have a credit pass in your mathematics at O levels. That's it.
Ayola prides in the quality of training and infrastructure RAIN offers its trainees. He says the plan is to compete with standards from developed nations and produce a next generation of AI experts to contribute to the country's development.
It's been a series of eureka moments, like, wow, we did it again. Typically in Nigeria, and this is one thing we have learned a lot from the experience in the past, you don't set up an institution to look like the normal African standard, Nigerian standard. You have to raise the bar. So we were not competing with anybody in Nigeria. We were competing with the standards I met in the UK, which were my vision for Nigeria. You know, it's cool, that it's homely, the teachers are friendly, the environment is friendly, you have a hangout spot, you have a kitchen, you have relaxation, games and all of that. Then you have internet, you have power supply, you have facilities, like you have the kind of ambience that makes you want to learn. You have projectors, you have all of those IT facilities that will encourage students to want to learn. We have all that. RAIN is actually taking care of unemployment in the future by providing the skill that the government or the people need. That's one. Secondly, RAIN is helping to attract foreign investment, because just by having a pool of talent in the area of AI, you're a leader, global leader. Now, when people look for AI solutions globally, they just go on Google and search artificial intelligence developers across the world, and RAIN puts Nigeria on the map.
Since establishment, RAIN has been experiencing a steady growth. Ayola says students in the tech field are eager to enroll and is also been receiving partnership proposals from the government, local and international bodies. Beyond this, the institution has been building and developing impressive artificial intelligence products.
It's been growth upon growth as we've been going. At first we were training only, and then later we started doing research for people, and now we're doing product development. So it's like we keep going higher. Of course, investors have been coming as well to say, can we buy this company off you? Can we take over? Can we expand it quickly enough? And I'm like, let's just all calm down. Let's see where we're heading, because I can't quantify the worth of the company until we get to a point where I can see everything from up there. We've had business deals, project deals with major companies. I can't mention their names now, but then about 3 major companies. One is on drone for parcel delivery, another one is on energy management, and another one is on waste management. Now, this is to say a few, because we have other engagements with government in some areas that we cannot talk about. But then, for us, it's a milestone because we started off as a training institution, and now we are moving into product development. You know, and this is the curve that if we can continue that trajectory, there is no way saying we've got to the end point yet. We haven't.
But these achievements did not come on a platter of gold. Ayola says setting up RAIN was not a walk in the park, especially in a country where electricity is a luxury.
You know, money is never enough. You want to set up a world-class institution, you're competing with people who spend billions and trillions to set up same thing. So how do you set up same thing with lower and lower budget? That was the biggest challenge for me. How do I make this place look expensive even though I'm not spending all of that money? Because I'm not the richest in Nigeria to be able to set up something like this. People walk in here and say, wow, billions have gone into this. Well, yes, billions, but not billions in money, but billions in ideas. Because my first challenge was, I must make this place look like $1 billion has been spent on it, even if I don't have that. And that was the first challenge. We did that. We did that very well. Then the second challenge is the power aspect. We run on 24 hours power. We can't do without power here. This is not a place where power will go off and everybody will be like, let's just wait for NEPA to bring light. We must have constant, because we do 3D printings. And 3D printings, you dare not wait for any second, otherwise you might lose the entire quality. So we do a lot of work, we do a lot of research, interfaces, meetings and all of that, and we need power. So the challenge there has been, how do we maintain steady power? The concept of generator, solar and all of that have come, but they can't meet our needs. We just need constant power from the government. But that's going to be a thing of the past now, because we are working on a project with a UK company on developing homegrown power solutions. And it's going to be a very large project. So one of the big power engines will be domiciled here at RAIN for demonstration and all of that.
Ismaila Surajo is one of the student trainees at RAIN. Surajo used to be a self-taught technician in his little village of Rubochi in Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, where he's been inventing locally made tractors and machines. Surajo got a scholarship to study at RAIN in 2020 after inventing a local water provider in his village. In less than 2 years, the 23-year-old is now developing smart water meter.
I've learned how to program using my system. When I was in school, I can build a car. I'll be the one to control it. But now I can use my system to control it. I intend to become an engineer in robotic design. I can design a robot that can help the community to solve some problem. I make smart water control device. Once you put your card, it on the water for you. You can subscribe on my own water device. I have other projects I'm going to work on.
It's been sponsored by one of the people in government, because he was given an award by the president in November 2020. And now he's developing solutions that will benefit his community directly. He's building a smart water meter that people in the locality can just slot in their card, their smart card, and water is dispensed in their bucket. So that way, what he's trying to do is to encourage lawmakers or people in government to donate boreholes to communities, because the people will not take it for free. They will pay a token using that smart water meter, and by using that token, the money for maintaining that facility, that water infrastructure, is provided.
Ayola has indeed paid his dues in starting up RAIN. His vision is to make an impactful change in Nigeria's development pace and education sector by imparting his knowledge and skills of artificial intelligence. And the company's milestone so far shows he's right on track.
Give RAIN about 5 years or less, and you'll be surprised that many things we look for outside would be produced in-house. And it's not going to be RAIN only, it's going to be offshoots of RAIN, people that RAIN has actually promoted or produced, and they are the ones that would begin to solve these problems. So if you look at 10 years from now, you'll see big entrepreneurs saying, I decided to set up this business after my training at RAIN, and I figured out that this was a major business need for the country. And of course, there you go. So we are really helping the country to prepare for the future now. The structure we've set up, fine, AI and robotics is not new in the world, but the structure we have set up for AI and robotics, no facility in the world has set that up. Where you do training and certification, where you do robot research and projects for everybody, not for your company. For example, Toyota, they have the Toyota Research Institute, where they do research in AI and robotics for their company only. But we are now setting up something that does AI and robotics research and product development for anybody. So what that means is that we are taking this to people's homes. So in the future, RAIN may be not a Nigerian-based company any longer, but a global body, competing with the likes of SpaceX and so on. Because we have all of that model embedded in what we are doing.
The technological advancement of any society is hinged on its ability to invent and innovate, as these are the cardinal bedrock upon which development is built and sustained. With RAIN's drive to nurture and train the next generation of AI experts in Nigeria, one can say the country is well on its way to achieving sustainable development.
I'm actually excited for the country. I mean, imagine the potentials of these experts that RAIN will be churning out. Anyways, this next innovator will blow your mind. With its invention, you wouldn't even need to lift a finger to reduce your power consumption and control a lot of home appliances.
Okay, at Ving Global Technologies, we create solutions for human with our full home and office automation. We do that with our OVO products and our OVO Smart app, where we make life easy for everyone. They can have total control of their home, their offices, and their hotels. And they can do all that without a human intervention using our OVO Smart app. They can control everything in their home and save the cost of their electricity bills. They can know who comes into their home at every given point. They can turn off the electrical appliances and every of the appliances at anywhere they are in the world. My name is Onyeka Onwuka. I'm the CEO of Ving Global Technologies Limited. Computer, turn on bedroom lights.
Okay.
Who would have ever thought that in decades to come in Nigeria, words of mouth will be able to control gadgets without having to move an inch? From carrying out big tasks to attending to menial errands, engineers across the world are leveraging technology to make life easier for people. One of such innovative engineers is Onyeka Onwuka, a 32-year-old graduate from the National Metallurgical Training Institute in Anambra, Southeast Nigeria. Bothered by the high energy consumption plaguing his country, Onyeka decided to establish Ving Global Technologies, an engineering technology outfit, under which he developed a comfortable solution to help people control their home and electrical appliances from anywhere in the world through an automatic systemic app. He calls it the OVO Smart application.
It has been a very long time. I started developing this app. And the reason why I started developing it was I've seen people leaving their home appliances on. They left their home appliances on and went out and then came back and started complaining about their electricity bills being piling up, forgetting that once it's turned off, your electricity bills won't be reading. So I started looking for a way to help people do all that. I've seen people turn on their gas on and leave it. Then they forget to turn it off. They might be carried away seeing a movie, or they might be carried away watching social media. So I started looking for a way to help people do all that without human intervention. I started looking for a way to help people turn off their appliances off, turn off their gas. Then that was what led me to create the OVO Smart app. Let's say if you want to control the light, you buy our OVO switch lights. When you buy it, you don't need to change your bulbs, just the controller. So you buy the light and then remove, you don't need to break your walls. All you need to do is to change the fittings. If you already have the old fittings, the manual fitting, you just change the fittings and then use our fitting. So once you use our fitting, you sync it with the OVO Smart app, and then from there you can control your lights. If you want to control your gas, we have our gas controller that you can use in your gas cylinder. Then if you want to control your TV, you use our IR, our OVO IR controller to control your TV. You can use it to control your AC. You can use our OVO water heater switch to control your water heater. You can also use our gate controller to open your gate and close your gate. Within Global Technologies, we make sure your security is intact. Within Global Technologies, we make sure that your electricity bills is being slid down to 60%. Within Global Technologies, we make sure your comfort is what you need. We'll make sure that you have comfort, total comfort. We'll make sure you have that easy lifestyle.
By connecting their devices to the OVO Smart app and the internet, users can control them all without moving an inch. All they need is a voice command, smartphone, or fingerprints. Onyeka says the OVO Smart app is connected to all the OVO products designed by his team. The customers then connect the product to the appliances. When the customer then orders the app to do a task, it gets notification once the task is completed.
What our OVO Smart app does is whenever it does any command being said by you, it will notify you that it has done it. So let's say someone comes to your home and you unlock remotely. Once the person gains access, it will notify you on your phone that the person has already gained access. So you can see the person with your OVO camera and you can have a conversation with the person, and once you turn off your gas as well, it will notify you that your gas is being turned off. So it doesn't just turn it off and leave you blindly. So once it does the command you set, it will notify you immediately that it has done this for you. Even hotel owners, they use our sensors. Once you have a guest and the person check in, you can see it will notify you that a guest just checked in your room. So it will notify you as a hotel owner. You don't need to be in the hotel to ask your management what rooms we are fully occupied. Is my rooms fully booked? So from your OVO Smart app, you get notification. You get notified that your rooms, if it's fully booked, you will get the notification. If 20 rooms were booked, you get notification. So all those things, you get notification from anywhere you are in the world.
Onyeka launched the OVO Smart app in 2020. Working in a country where electricity is not stable, he says achieving this feat was not a walk in the park.
You know, developing an app, you have to do the graphics, you have to write the codes. So I did all that with my team. In my team, I have a graphic designer that designs the graphic that I need to do. The commands, I wrote the commands on my own. So the challenges I was facing that time was I need to always stay strong. The challenges I was facing was the power issue, because I have to test my app with a generator and also test my app with the power from the government. So if I want to test it, I'll have to wait for the lights to come so that I will test it. So those were the challenges I was having at the moment while developing the app. But after all said and done, it came out a success. I'm trying to set up the internet to be able to run the program using a minimal internet to charge in kilobytes and not in megabytes. So with 1,000 naira subscription, all your appliances will be running. And we also try to make it work with every internet providers like MTN, Airtel, Etisalat, every internet providers. We also try to make it work with all that.
Since the launch of the application, Onyeka says he and his team continues to work to improve on the application and introduce more features to make life easier for customers.
We have our competitors, and that is why we are working hard every day to make sure we give in the best quality. When we started our app, there was no virtual assistant. What I mean by virtual assistant is using your voice to control everything. You know, it's not every time you go to the app and start scrolling, looking for the light that is on and off. So we brought in, because as each day goes in, we keep on pushing, and now you can sync our OVO Smart app with your Siri, with your Google Assistant, with your Alexas. So we keep on bringing the best every day. That is why we work hard to make sure we are at the face of everyone.
Since the OVO Smart app broke into the market, Vin Global Technologies have continued to record accelerating growth, and even though the tech firm is yet to get a major investor, it now has over 20,000 customers across Africa.
At first, when we brought it out on social media, few people came to patronize us. They saw that it was good and they started spreading the news. They started spreading everything, letting people know that we are using this thing. Like our smart locks, there are people. People have been using it for 2 years, 2 years plus, without no issues. So you don't need electricity to run the smart app. It uses a finger battery. So after 1 year, all you have to do is to change your finger battery. So people started advertising for us. People we don't even know. They started advertising our product for us because they've used it and it's working. So we started, we have influencers that helps us to do all that as well. And when the influencers does that, people use our product and see that it's of good quality because we chose quality over quantity. So people saw that our products were of good quality, and then that was how the marketing level started. We started moving from places to places, going to real estate developers, showing them what we have, and from that we keep on. That was how we started expanding. Right now we don't have investors at the moment, but we have up to 23,000 plus customers. We have a lot of customers that are patronizing us already, and we have more coming each day. We have customers coming from South Africa, from Ghana, from Cameroon, from Sierra Leone, from Nigeria. We have people buying our product from all these African countries. We don't have investors at the moment, but our product is growing because it's of good quality, and all our products are 2 years warranty.
Onyeka says the future projection is for his innovation to break into the international market and in extension save Nigerians from bogus electricity consumption, which makes them pay more.
In the next 4 or 5 years, I want our company, Vin Global Technologies. I want my company, Vin Global Technologies, to be talk of the world. I want us to be the #1 in automation system and all that. I'm making sure that every home, offices and facility have our products all over the world.
At a time when authorities in the country continues to seek a lasting solution to energy consumption and increased electricity tariff, Onyeka's innovation, if expanded, might be the light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm actually impressed by the good work these guys are doing to improve technology in Nigeria. Anyways, this is where we'll be signing out on the program today. Until I come your way next time, I am Abisola Adebayo. Bye.
what we're having here today, the theme of the exhibition is wet in waste. That is, what are the wet you can get from waste product, that is coconut shell. So, and the reason why we are saying wet in waste is that we have so many processors around. We have people that uses coconut for their products, like coconut oil, coconut candy, coconut flakes. The name has so many. But what do they do to the shell? Nothing. So if you eat coconut, the shells, you throw it off. But some of them, they use it for making fire, fueling their fire while cooking. But that can cause environmental pollution. So we are using this now to tell a story that, okay, instead of destroying the environment, why don't you get the wet that is involved? Instead of throwing it to block our drainages, why don't you turn it to a wet making machine? So that is just the short story behind the wet in waste. Aside from that, it is unique and nobody is using it for anything. When I started, I didn't see anybody that is doing anything like installations like this. In fact, when I Google online, what I saw were craft works, cups, key holders, and the rest of them. But I started doing this just to give myself a unique name from others. The response has been very, very good. Though initially when I started, people were like, what type of thing is this? They gave me so many names. Sometimes if I stretch my hand to greet some people, they will say, your hand is too tough, blah, blah, blah. But today now the rest is story. And initially the acceptance was not there. I was giving my souvenirs to people free of charge. But now I sell them at good prices. The funny thing about the Circle of Nigerian Coconut Artists is that we started in February. The dream just came, okay, why don't you bring these people that are doing coconut craft together? I have some of them who are my participants that I've trained over time during workshops. So, and some of them, they don't practice the craft again because the challenges are there for them. How do they sell their craft works? Who do they sell to? And the challenges of how do you cut, how do you remove the debris and the rest of them. So many challenges. But the basic one is if they produce it and they don't sell, they stop producing. So we are using this now to create a kind of platform for them so that they can showcase their work. You can see different stands here. You can see different tables with different type of artworks, even this. So they now have a platform where they can exhibit the works when visitors come around, they see. And with that, they will be encouraged to do more. So that is the story behind this. What we do is we'll cut the shells. When you cut the shells, you remove the debris, you sand it in and out and cut the shapes you want. Then, if you want to do stuff like this, you start joining them together with gum. You have handsaw, you have jigsaw, you have bandsaw, depending on the level at which you are. If you are just starting, you can't get a bandsaw because to buy a bandsaw now is expensive. So you can start with the hand axe saw. Is going viral, and another thing is that we are taking it to the 5 divisions of Lagos State. After Badagry, we are going to other divisions. We have Ikorodu, we have Epe, we have mainland. So we are taking this show around there. So if we have the opportunity of showcasing it 10 days in other divisions, so we'll do, just to encourage the young ones around so that they can join us in removing debris from my environment and turning it to waste. I mean to wet. Like this one, if you have seen the Eyo before, this is that cap they put on. So I use this now to represent Eyo. Instead of putting the whole thing, it will be too big for me. So I just decided to work on the cap alone. So that's that about Eyo. And here we have Yeye Oge. Like this Yeye Oge, I don't know, I just love the work. Now, I use this to tell a story of a young lady. And generally, most of our ladies, they are the only one who has been questioning God, that why do you create me this way? The eyelashes are not enough, they want to add more. The lipsticks are not too clean as created by God, they want to add more. And they will embellish their hair with so many designs. So that is what I just use this one to represent, just epitome of love. Simple. The Last Supper that Jesus Christ had with his disciples. Now, I use these ones here to represent the disciples, and this is Jesus here. If you count, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are the disciples, and this is their table. And while eating your drink, you need a jug to fetch water from. You have that, you have the cup, and you have the fruit. Instead of putting amala and the rest, I decided to use just fruit. This is August meeting. Yes, now August meeting is popular among our friends from the East, whereby they have their colorful attire, uniform attire, and they celebrate themselves, the women mostly. So that's why I have about 3 women there with different gele and the rest. This one now, I titled it the National Summit. There's so many stories behind it. Now, at the center you have banana, and the objects surrounding it look like monkeys. So, yes, now, without much decoration, you see this is the mouth, this are the eyes for monkeys. Now, but I'm using this now to represent the Nigerian setting or the Africa setting, whereby we have delegates, people who will send them, okay, go and represent us. But they are not particular about the people that sent them. When they get to the zoo there, or when they get to that area whereby you have flowers, you have adorable things around them, they forget those of us who sent them. The only thing they are particular about is the national cake. So I use the banana here now to represent the national cake. So that is what all of them are after. They have adorable things. That's why I use leaves, just to represent things like flowers. So in the midst of flowers, you know, you'll be happy, oh wow, you are surrounded with beautiful things. The next thing, they will have forgotten what we asked them to go and do for us, go and represent us, but no, the only thing is the national cake, which they rush after to get for their self and their self alone.
My experience as one of the artists is that we, in this part of our area here in Badagry, we that are involved in this kind of work is not well appreciated, in the sense that, you know, here this is our area. Coconut, Badagry is predominantly recognized with coconut. So, and as a result of that, while we are doing this thing, they do not see any value to it. So, like Jesus Christ, even though does not have value at his own time. So that is the similar story that we are having towards this. But outside that, we are using this thing to promote our culture, to know that this craft can bring economical value for our teeming youth. This product, this work we have involved in, can bring a kind of job creation for people. little do we know that craft work of this nature can transform this coconut craft, the coconut shell, from the waste product they used to know it for, to a valuable thing. Before, in this area, after extracting the oil is one of the valuable things extracted from the coconut. Then coconut completely is a valuable tree, but the shell is they throw it away, or they burn it. Nobody knows that it can be transformed to a valuable thing. So that is why we are involved. Now coconut is going to an extinction with the activities of other activities around. But engaging this shell in transforming it to a valuable things of this nature, so people can know that we can begin to use it even to better our life. It has more economical value. So if people engage themselves in doing it. I'm an indigenous of Ajido in this Barage environment. Gone are those days, after extracting the coconut, you see a lot of heap of it. But when we now begin to censor our people that it can be transformed to this kind of ornament, so we gather, we have a collecting center. So if you have used your coconut, just gather it, we come, we pick them. And better still, we just, if you want to get maybe the one we use for the consumables, the one we can use for either cups, jugs, the one that we can use for consumption of either drink or food. Those ones we need a good quality of coconut. Those ones we go to farm to select better coconut. So, but those ones we can use for decoration of those ones. So we can pick shell. Those are the waste ones. We can use those ones and use those ones and transform it then to this type of ornament. The publicity, we thank God a little bit for the immediate past supervisor for tourism and education, Honorable Samson Unayo Akpata. He has been helpful in that regard by collaborating with us in sensitizing people. So we train the like-minded, those that have interest, we train them, and then we do our publicity. Like this event that is going on now, it is one of the first of its kind in this Badagry. It's just to publicize this and to create the awareness that something of this nature is ongoing. It has come and have come to stay. So we, the craftsmen, are highly involved in this, and we are ready to partner with whosoever that is willing to partner with us, even to give it more publications.
When I start coconut art, people look at it as a strange something, but later they now blend to it. And I've faced many people, although I'm into tourism too, when you're talking about tourism and art, it blends together, because if you travel to any area, you don't come back with souvenir, definitely you do not have anything to remind you about your visits. That's why I always work on coconut shell as souvenir. If it comes to Badagry, you must go with a coconut shell souvenir. Sincerely, if you said turning waste to wealth, it even adds to the value of the environmental this thing, because it makes its cleanness, change the environment so that you don't see anything dirty in the environment. And mostly from this coconut shell, we have brought up many people, and people are blending with it. I named this remembrance. It always tells you to remember that whenever you are doing in life, there is a time you will go and the footprints will be there. And you have to remember that you are not going to live forever. And you have to remember that nobody is going to stay with you in that grave. Whatever you are doing, forget about religion, forget about everything, but your humanity service matter a lot. That's how I name it, remember. These are brooch. You can see we have brooch of local government. These are Lagos local government, Ministry of Tourism. We have another brooch. This pendant, map of Africa. We have earrings, key orders, and you can see on this textile, what we have there is the button. We always use the coconut shell as button on textiles. Pen order, and so on. And these are little takeaway items you can get from coconut. This cup, this coconut purse. You use it in different ways. You can keep your jewelries. You can use it as safe to keep your jewelries. For example, you buy something, you can put it inside. You can put it inside, you lock it, and you can use it for your decoration, for beach outing or anything like that. Use it. We have anything like this.
What is here is Wash Go International actually. It's of international standard. It's unusual, unexpected, and I think this man needs to be celebrated more than what we are seeing. We know that the level of unemployment right now in Nigeria is really high, and if there was a way to get this skill to more youths, and especially with the advent of social media, I think there's so much that can be done with what is here. Yeah, it will help this country as a whole. This is the kind of thing that I came here all the way from Ikorodu, and I'm sure if a lot more people knew about this, it will bring a lot more people here, and it will boost tourism here.
I was excited, like I did not believe that they can use coconut to do so many things like this, and it was beautiful. When I reach my school, I can tell them about it, that we saw many things, that the people that are not here, so that they will see, they can come here to look at it, and some people would like to join or do something like this. I can now see that coconut is very important in Badagry, that we can use it to do many things. And when I see it on the ground, I can pick some ones to do like the key holder. Me too, I can try, and I can encourage some people to look at it. That coconut shell can do many things. That we can use it to do jug in our house, and spoon, and the key holder minces.
Sincerely, I'll commend the organizer of this kind of show. And there is no need for them to showcase the first program in another place. And the main thing behind this event is for them to know the value and what the end product of coconut, what we can derive from it, so that it will not be wasteful, at least creating wealth out of nothing. Sincerely, I'm overwhelmed. Each artistic design, the kind of way that the organizer name each one, and the explanation to us, sincerely, that shows that the artist know what he's doing. Likewise, there is a lot of vision, there's a lot of prophetic, profitable something for every individual. At a starting point, what they have over here can meet up international competition.
It's not anything that is new to me, because I've been with the artists for a very long time. It started from very awkward creation. I mean, very, very awkward background, you know. It started from nothing to something. So, you see, what I've seen, what I've learned, and that I want the youth to learn is focus in whatever you are doing, in whatever thing that you think this is good. There's no way you won't find, you won't encounter challenges. Challenges are natural, and they test your mettle as a man. If you want to succeed in life, you must face challenges. So he's been on this thing for more than a decade. And what I saw today is amazing. It's really, really amazing. And it's telling me that there's still more to explore in this community. Things that are insignificant that I will see as nothing. We can really make it something. And that was that done. This is the identity of Badagry. When you go to Osun Osogbo, you see carving. But here, he has created an identity for Badagry. We need the government buying into this. He has a lot to offer in terms of all this, but the government has to come in to support him. There's still a lot that can be achieved, that can still be created out of this nothing that we are seeing as coconut shells. There's still a lot that he has proven that. There's still many things that can still be done, that can be achieved in terms of creativity. So, but he alone, and he's been struggling for more than a decade. That is he's been able to take it to this level is miracle. Honestly, it's miracle, because he has been doing all alone. Okay, you can see what, for instance, I expected that before we, just ordinary citizens of the community, comes here, we expect that other dignitaries will have come here to open it.
So that encourages the artist. It inspires him that his effort is being recognized and acknowledged. But when you don't have things like that, sometimes it kills spirit. So we need government buy-in. We need the support. Apart from the government, the support of the community. Things like this today, we want the community to be here, everybody be here, all the VIPs, all the government, they should be here to recognize and acknowledge this work of creativity that has been displayed.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world. A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Many thanks for joining us on the newsroom. I am Tamilore Akinkulier, and these are the stories we're tracking at the moment. The Lagos State National and State House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal has sat today to listen to 8 applications brought by petitioners in respect of the 2023 elections held on February 25th and March 11th. So far, 4 petitions have been filed to challenge the return of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his deputy Obafemi Hamzat. Those who filed are the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its candidate Abdulaziz Adediro, as well as the Labour Party governorship candidate Gbadebo Revival, who filed as the sole petitioner. Others are the Allied People's Movement and the Action People's Party. A coalition of Arawa elders has accused the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the just concluded election, Peter Obi, and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed, of inciting the public with their statement and utterance over the outcome of the polls. The Arawa elders noted that the recent statement made by the Labour Party vice presidential candidate demanded that the president-elect Bola Tinubu should not be sworn in, amount to exhibiting anti-democratic tendencies that could trigger civil disobedience. While noting that the presidential election has been held and the winner emerged through popular votes, the Arawa elders insisted that the people's wish must prevail and Tinubu must be sworn in as the next president of Nigeria on May 29th, stating that the interim government has no place in the country's constitution. The Lagos State Ministry of Education has extended the deadline for payment and registration of the year 2023-23 Basic Education Certificate examination from April 14 to April 28. According to Olorunsholu Adebayo, Director of Lagos State Examination Board, the extension became necessary due to the issues encountered by schools arising from the network problems to the current economic realities. Adebayo added that the extension is to give room for most approved private and special schools in the state who are yet to register their candidate to do so, while also disclosing that the board does not wish to deny any school and its candidates the opportunity of taking part in the examination. India recorded 11,109 new cases infections on Friday, with active cases increasing to 49,622. According to the Union Health Ministry data, the death toll has climbed with 29 deaths recorded. The daily positivity rate in the country is recorded at 5.01%, while the weekly positivity rate was pegged at 4.29%. Amid the increase in cases, some schools in the country have ensured that students and teachers are masked and social distancing norms are being followed, while the Delhi government says it will soon release a set of guidelines for schools. The federal government on Thursday said the amount spent on subsidizing premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, between 2005 and 2021 was at 13 trillion naira, added that the country lost 16.3 trillion naira to oil theft from 2009 to 2020. In a presentation by NEITI's Executive Secretary, Oji Ogbonaya Oji, he revealed that there was an urgent need to make a decision on the agitation for the removal of fuel subsidies. He stressed that the full deregulation of the petroleum sector would permanently lay to rest the conversation around all swaps, added that the latest Friday by the NEITI showed the humongous amount spent on subsidizing fuel by the government. France's top constitutional court is to rule later today on whether to approve President Emmanuel Macron's deeply unpopular pension rebuild after months of protest. The labor union and opposition lawmakers in the country are still hoping that the Constitutional Council will strike down changes that Macron attempted during his first term in office and has put at heart of the second-term agenda. Experts believe the most likely scenario is that the 9-member body will consider some non-essential parts of the legislation but approve the core element of raising the retirement age to 64 from 62. And on sport, Nigeria forward Victor Boniface is in running for the UEFA Europa League Player of the Week and Goal of the Week award. Boniface scored a super goal in Belgian club Real Union Saint-Gilloise with 1-1 away draw against Bayer Leverkusen on Thursday night. With the winner of the two awards to be announced later today, the 22-year-old is the leading scorer in the Europa League this season with 6 goals. That's the latest on the newsroom. Please join us in the next hours for more stories. Bye for now.
For instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world. A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
In terms of settling down, does age affect the chances of choosing the partner you want? In terms of settling down, does age affect the chances of choosing the partner you want?
It should be the choice. I think it should be the choice.
Which way? Me as female,
Either
I
as
date
female
a
or
younger
male.
person.
I feel
like
as,
age
as,
is a
as a
factor.
female, like, as in is age a factor in you
Deciding
getting
who
what
to
you
get married
want,
to. Yeah, who you want to.
who you want to get married to.
Meaning, can I get married to a younger man?
No. Like,
But
for
like-
example, as you grow older, for example, now, your chances of getting who you really want becomes slim.
Okay.
I don't think it plays like that for a man.
For a man,
For a
yeah,
man,
it doesn't.
is it for a man?
But it's
You
for
know,
a lady.
For ladies, I just feel like you don't. For ladies, you can say that yes, we have the, how do they say it? It's not in our favor. You get, it's more in guys' favor. You see guys in late 40s, just getting married, mid 50s. But for women, you understand, they're like, oh, you think about your biological clock. You think, oh, maybe can she, still be able to have kids and everything. So you understand. So most times when they get to a particular age, they start getting pressed like, oh, like let me just look for one and just settle down or something. You get.
I even think like sort
Just settle for anybody they see.
No,
not like they settle.
I'm just
No,
saying
they
that
don't.
for them.
It's just
I'm
that.
not saying that
It's just that. Like,
Older women
for me,
settle now. They settle at the end of the day.
I don't think they're going to settle. Now there is easy.
I was about to say like
you can freeze your eggs.
modernization, like
You freeze your eggs.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they,
Yes.
quite easier now.
It's quite easy, and you
again,
freeze your
people,
eggs.
people like have a liberal mind now.
Liberal
about
mind, and even for now, now more people are more maybe because people are now more open, and then civilization and everything.
Yeah.
People are now seeing that you don't need to rush to anywhere. Do you understand? Okay, so and then because of what is even happening right now, like people considering marriages where people, you rush in and then you rush out. People are like, no, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get married to the right person. You understand? I'm not negating the fact that some people are still rushing though.
Yes, too.
Yeah.
You are still taking your time.
Yeah, that's why.
As a woman.
That's why I say.
I'm not saying that maybe she's trying to be picky, but like maybe I'm not saying maybe at that stage that maybe she say, oh, I don't like this song. Oh, maybe for petty reason. I'm saying maybe at that stage, maybe she has not gotten anybody. She's not going just going to go and meet any random person and just go and.
But anybody that approaches her, she would agree.
Wrong.
No,
that's what I'm saying. No. She's not just going to just because any random person comes to.
Yes.
So you think at 37?
That's what I'm telling you. Medicine has made things easier and
Easier.
science.
You can
So
freeze
she
your
could freeze her
eggs.
egg and
Even
she's
some
not
people
worried
are not even
about
freezing their eggs,
her
like,
age
they are
to
not even
give birth.
this
Is that the only thing women worry about?
It's part of the thing. That's one of the major things in
that's
Nigeria
one of the major
or in
things that
Africa.
people worry about is their biological.
It's the truth.
Unless you don't want kids.
It's the main thing.
Because
Because in-laws, your in-laws will say, why won't marry this babe? She don't she don't fit give you pikin, she don't give us grandchildren. So we say that's just
the only reason why you don't feel married.
Major thing for Nigeria.
But what of you?
Me, for an older woman. If I like the older woman, I'll get married to her. There are ways we could
So
look
if she's
for a
like
child.
50, can you get married to
What?
her?
I'm waiting.
50 is too much. There's a considerate age. I can't.
Considerate
Yes, it's the truth now.
Considerate age.
Huh? No. I'm going to be 34. Let's say a lady 40. Yes, I could.
6 years.
Yes, I could. But above that, that's.
What of 41?
No, I say I'm telling you the age.
41, she
within
just
my-
left now.
It's the same thing.
Even that 40 self,
You get
almost 6 years difference.
So that's
Shay, what about you?
Almost a no. Forget that.
Which age? Like what of a year older?
Maybe my max now 3 years. Max 3 years older. Max.
Everybody has his own decision. So
Max.
Or you should at least consider 41. You should still.
The
40 I don't consider.
47 we go still talk am well. You don't feel consider 40.
No, but 40 is cool for you.
6
I
years.
just feel like the most important for
Actually,
men, the worry for them,
actually,
for women, is the fact that one thing they're scared about is their biological clock.
Yeah.
Menopause and all those kind of things. Do you understand? We all know that aside, if you're not worried about that, that means maybe you don't want to have kids.
Exactly.
Or
maybe you just want
your
to adopt,
or you want to adopt, or you want to do surrogacy if you've frozen your eggs. Do you understand? So that's just the thing.
But you know another funny thing in Africa that we made it look like as if it's a woman thing. It also affects men. Getting married at a very
it doesn't affect
old
men.
age. I want to explain to you what I mean by it affects. Wait. I'm not saying men
drop their
post.
standards.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. You imagine you getting married as a guy. You're wasting time. You're getting married at 40, 45. So let's say by the time your child will be. Wait,
doesn't mean that it was wasting.
I'm not saying you're wasting time. I'm saying you're taking time. Wait, man, it's still the same thing. We're only just talking about ladies at this thing. At that, okay, you're taking time, and then you finally get married or get settled at 40 or 45. So by the time your first child will be like 10 years, you're 55 years. So when would you stay to enjoy your kid? Like how? As in you're already old. Is it at your old age you want to enjoy your kid, or at the younger age?
Like
so people get married as early as 25 and they don't have any 45, 50.
What would they do?
That's it. That one is a different case. That one is a different case.
I'm just saying that.
And even at that part is because maybe they've not explored other options to get kids, or maybe they don't have the means to get kids. Yes,
so you
there's
want to tell me that
IVF.
And people have tried IVF how many times?
Even if it don't work, then you adopt.
We all know how adoption is in Nigeria. Adoption is very, very, as in the process is long. And which is one of the things that people are really speaking out about. That
the process long, you see,
which is one of the things that they're talking
about. Anybody carry and go out.
People are saying it's very, and that's why people are saying that's why people go for that baby factory thing. That because of
doing it the legal way is stressful. Yes,
doing the legal way is very stressful. It will
very
take you
stressful
years before
in Nigeria.
Yes.
Wow. Why do you think baby factory
papers upon papers? That's why baby factory is easier. You just go and get the thing easily with your money.
That 1 year you're done.
Now this one even with your money. Yeah.
For years, 5 years, they've not given you child.
One.
As it used to be, and it doesn't mean that you even get it though. Do you understand? And that is why baby factory is moving. And people are really speaking up now. I don't know. People are really speaking on that. Nigeria, the government should do something about adoption. They should make sure the process is easy. Do you understand?
They just have so many children
so that you can get rid of all this baby factory springing up everywhere and there. Do you understand?
Well, I don't think a man's standard drops. So even no matter how old he gets at the end of the day, because you see, a man is, especially if he's not rich, but let me say well-to-do. If the guy is well-to-do, his standard will not drop.
I think he said too.
I still want a slim babe. I still want a fair
I
babe.
think he said
too.
I think he said too.
Men don't settle.
You know why? Wait,
men settle. Even when they are not even old.
Men don't
settle. Yes.
Even when they are not old.
Yes. Let me tell you how it works. Like, when they are serious and they are active, when they are serious,
especially when they
settle.
Before you know this, I didn't like her. She got pregnant for me.
Currently, like when they are still
Gone
very
are
young.
those days that
When they are still very
guys,
young,
guys,
when they are still very young and playful and they're still, you know, in the field and all, they do this girl. That's when they even have spec. When it's time to settle and they be doing that thing, they settle.
Yeah. When it's time to settle down.
Settle down.
Yes.
They settle.
They
settle for anything.
Oh, they don't settle. They pick who pays them
No,
the most. No, it's not settled.
That's when they settle.
I don't think that I buy with what they are saying.
No, I don't buy with it.
You know why? Because let me explain to you
How
something.
can you say guys?
I've had guys. Let me explain something to you.
Settle.
I've had guys that
You
when
know me
they
like
were
this one
dating,
ended up with this
when
one.
they were dating, they were like, oh, if I want marry, see this kind of babe now, this kind of babe, this. And then finally, you know, while they were dating, they had those kind of girls, those classic girls. And then when they're finally ready to settle, you just see the girl and they're like, God, I don't see why.
Like,
guy, how far now? But no be this kind person.
Yes.
You know, like what's
the guy go reply you?
You tell you say na person way I just won't deal with. Now like that person will make me happy.
Bam!
You don't drop the standard.
No, drop the standard.
Drop the standard. No, proper. Because before you talk say my standard.
Yeah, wetin you talk.
He
say na person. Yeah, wetin you talk now. He say na person where I like.
He drop
the standard.
He drop in standard because
it just be like say wait. It just be like say everybody knows say I like beans. I like beans. Person can't give me ewa going. I can't dey chop ewa going. You can't say boy you talk say na normal beans. Like why can't they eat ewa going? I say I see say I like this one. No, pass this one. It don't mean say I said two. It means I prefer this one to even this one. No, you don't say two. It was his choice.
Because before he talk say what I want. Okay, let me use physical attribute.
Exactly.
I want babe wey get big butt, babe wey get it. They won't come marry slim babe.
Maybe the slim.
Maybe wear black. And before now, 4 years they get big butt.
But a man calm down. If he be say he see something for that slim babe, when you know
but
say
he makes him say he compromise standard.
No, he not compromise. He upgrade himself. You know be compromise.
You know what?
He compromise. No. Not think am like that. He not compromise anything.
Okay, so why is he chasing? Why is he flirting with that his spec outside?
They will not be like,
why is he flirting with his spec?
Outside.
Yes.
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
Like you get
Like
when you don't finally that one. You know you flirting with his spec outside.
You see that one?
Why?
That's a different topic that we cannot delve into now.
Okay,
good. Men naturally, no matter what,
they like
are
variety.
promiscuous by nature.
We have discussed this issue.
We don't discuss them before. Now I say more no delve into this thing. More no delve into deeply.
Let's not go into it.
There is a very high probability for a man, even a married man, to still look outside at the end of the day. Because men, our eye know they stay one place. Now so it be. No, not a loose man. Now so it be. It takes the grace of God, serious grace of God, serious grace of God
not because
for a man.
Religious belief. Because of religious belief. If not because of religious belief, and then some form of morality, no be lie. Literally all men.
Oh, that's like inbuilt.
No, I'm not saying it's
not.
inbuilt.
So why is it there now? So why is it there?
It's not.
I agree.
I'm telling you.
Inbuilt.
See?
It just depends on the man's character and the way he's willing to discipline himself.
That's where I want to come from.
And the percentage of men who are willing to discipline themselves that way is very, 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 very low.
So you're trying to tell
I'm not saying there are such men that exist.
No, like you're trying to say it's a natural thing. So it now takes a man with extra effort to actually overcome that natural
thing. Yes.
It's true.
Very, very true.
Very true. Very true, Korodi.
What me I want to say is that all this one that you're saying men. Human, human as a woman too, as a man.
That thing is there.
Nature to want to I don't know how to say
explore. So let's come back to the main topic.
As a personal, it's just like, do you not think of bad things?
Yes, we all do.
We all do. Good. Do you do them?
No. So it's not gender based.
So it's not gender based.
No.
What's
the ratio of married women who cheat?
No, that
like no wait.
Okay.
Like to you, like how many percentage of married women?
See,
no, like
women
based
are
on the experiences the little experience you have from what you've seen so far.
Yes, ratio of women to
what
men.
What me have been hearing, I think it's even 50-50 or 60-40.
No, right now, yes, because right now, before, let's use before.
Yes. Because people are like, oh, this thing, you know, as a married woman, maybe it was like 30 to, or 40 to 60, you understand? But now with what is going on, with what we are hearing out there.
Whoa, true. You just wake up and all your kids are not even your own, and you think you're being cheated.
So that's why I said that it's not gender based. That cheating thing is not gender based.
It's just
not
that.
like this thing. But you as an individual, you're going to make the decision and no, I don't want to cheat. And that was why I gave the example. We all think of bad things in by ourselves. Do you understand? But do we all do we do that?
Man, I know what I'm
no.
doing. It doesn't mean that me.
Because we have it's an inbuilt. We have the morality that corrects that no, you cannot do this.
No, not really. Not really.
Okay, so let's go back to the main topic.
Not really.
We need to discuss.
Let's come back to the main topic.
Discuss that later, but not really. No.
To the main topic.
I don't agree with you.
No, we're coming back to the main topic.
The main topic. Back to the main topic. I was saying that men don't drop their standards no matter how old they get.
They do.
If men drop their standards, you won't see 60-year-old men getting married to 20-something-year-old babes.
Wrong.
They do. You won't see 40-something-year-old.
Wait, do you think he's getting married to a 20-something-year-old girl because
not be saying you get money like that, but you go say I go marry better 26-27-year-old babe. When you go look and say, guy, how you think get this babe?
No.
Are you trying to say the guy? Men don't settle.
Men settle.
Men
settle
a
lot. Men settle a lot.
What I would say is
now, like,
the preference for men change.
So
not that they settle.
Why are we using different diction? Why are we changing? Why are we like settle and preference?
No.
Why are we saying settle and preference?
Settling
what
and
influences preference?
When it comes to men, it's preference. When it comes to women, it's settling. Yes.
Why is the diction changing for men and women?
No. Men settle, women settle.
Why is the language changing?
Men don't settle.
Men settle more than women.
Hey! Stop it!
I don't even know that one. But I know that men settle.
Men.
Guy, Erica, stop it. Guy! Stop that one. Stop that.
Men settle.
That's the
Men settle. Do you know that it's appalling? It's appalling how they settle.
Now our taste.
It's appalling. It's appalling how they settle.
Turning towards what you said.
It's appalling how men settle. Like to the last, no boxes are ticked. They just settle. No boxes are ticked.
Let me ask you a question now. You know a guy now, for example, that he's always carrying fine babes every time. He date fine babes. He punch fine babes. Then he can't talk saying one marry. You can't say the wife he won't marry ugly. To you, he settled, Abi? Yes or no?
He settled now.
Because he don't carry fine babes. But when he won't come marry, now ugly baby carry.
He settled because he will not go and be cheating on her. He settled.
He will not go and be cheating on
So what's the use of him settling? When he still has those fine babes at his beck and call, doesn't that tell you he didn't settle?
That tells me that
when we are talking of settling, no, it's not confused. No. See, when we are talking of settling, we are saying this guy does not have a choice again. He just has to make do with what he has. That's my own understanding of settling. That he not get any choice. No other person there for him except this person.
So
but these other people still there. That is not settling. He made his choice. He decided, I've seen all this fine babes.
Really?
Now this ugly one I want
to. That's not what. That's not settling.
They be like, time don't they go.
Like, guys, she don't disturb me. Almost. And now this girl agree. Like, no time.
And that's not settling.
It's settling.
That's not
settling.
That's not settling. Because the guy, you know, go carry person where you know like put for house now.
Still set.
So
you go carry person where you know like put for house, even if they pressure you.
Plenty guys don't do them now.
When they know like or anything.
Yes.
Like a kind of like let's say like let me use one. Let me use one. Wait, let me use one. Or I know it was a royal family. And the rule of the royal family. Wait, it's not the same thing. Wait, and the rule of the royal family is any girl when you give belle outside. Yes, you have to marry her by force. That's still settling.
No, that was different. I'm talking of an instance where a guy has a choice.
What about guys?
No family obligation. No cultural obligation.
And then the girl ended up getting pregnant, and then they were like, "Oh, there's nothing you can do. You have to marry our daughter."
Who says so? And they will not force the guy to marry her.
Doesn't happen. Say it doesn't happen.
No, I know it happens.
So what were you trying to say?
I know it happens, but that one you can't. Well, maybe you can say it's settled,
settling.
based on what happened.
Because
based on what happened.
It
is based on what happened that is settled.
However you want to spin it, you're trying to streamline. You're trying to box this conversation. You're trying to streamline. You're talking choices. You're talking settling side by side choices. These are certain actions that they have carried out that influence their choice.
Okay, wait, John. Let me ask you this question now. When someone is settling, when you say someone settles, does that person have a choice or not? Does he have a pool to pick from?
In some cases, yes.
Yes.
And he settles.
Yes, and he settles.
Yes.
That's not true.
Yes.
That is true.
When someone settles,
let me.
It means you don't have a choice. You just have to pick that person.
No.
You talk say this person give person belle. He no get choice.
They
don't tell him say you must marry him. You must marry him. He no get choice.
He had a girlfriend, but he just had a one-night stand.
And the girl now got pregnant.
Yes,
he doesn't have a choice because
he
himself.
doesn't have a
His family members, all of them would have already told him that Ogbeni, you don't give this girl belle. You must marry her. He doesn't have a choice.
No,
as far as he is concerned. But what I'm saying is, you can't compare it with a guy now. Where we say the example I gave earlier. You have fine babes. He now went to carry an ugly babe.
It happens.
He made his choice that okay, I don't want any of this fine babe. I want this one.
Why? Meanwhile, those
probably he saw that
this.
this one will be a good wife. She'll give me peace of mind. She'll be able to cook for me. She will answer to my beck and call.
So,
unlike all these other ones. And he decided to choose her.
Okay,
that is not settling.
Okay, so what's okay?
He made his choice.
So what is happening? What is going on in marriages whereby the men they were like, I didn't even like her, I just married her because she was just available.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Because she was available.
Yes.
I've not heard that one before.
You have not heard because she was available.
You will not hear
I just married the girl.
I married the girl because she was available.
I've even seen a scenario
I know
like
you
that.
say you've not heard it
No,
before.
I'm not honest. I've not heard it. That she was just available. I don't understand.
Available to be married.
Available to be married.
Yes.
That's why I not married her.
There's no certainty that because you have a particular spec or something, it doesn't mean that you are going to eventually find somebody to get married to.
Women settle. I agree that women settle. Because to a certain extent they don't have that luxury of a choice to pick and say,
why?
You think
as they age,
like fine wine.
Most times, let me tell you something. Shut up. Yes.
You heard me.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not talking to you.
Some of those girls, do you think that maybe they don't have any girl that is asking them out? It's because they probably just seen their choice.
Aging.
Yes.
At 36.
Yes. Because they've not seen their choice. Yes.
45.
Why is it impossible?
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
It's not as if maybe there's nobody asking. It's just somewhere it's shady.
Don't let these girls come on. We already won comfort. Don't let them win you, please. No.
I've seen it play out. I've seen it play out.
So what you're trying to say that when you're 45, you cannot get married again?
Who? As a woman.
35, 36,
you don't have the luxury of making
you have a choice.
You do.
You don't.
You can make a choice.
You
can reject proposals.
You reject proposals. You go dead there at 45. You go dead there. You go old.
See, let me tell you something.
You go old. At 45, any man will come meet that woman. She go marry.
Even at 45, there are some men you can't get married to. Even at 45,
there are some men.
I'm saying, but at that point, you don't see.
You know what? I am lying. Emmanuel, I think the image of the lady you are painting is maybe 13th century or something.
Yeah,
if you're thinking of modern women these days, you cannot be talking like this.
They will not care.
In Africa.
They would rather remain
in Africa and Nigeria.
Yes.
Not true.
Now lie.
Don't say that.
Now lie. Now lie.
To that part, yes.
Now lie.
We have not.
It's a lie. We have not gotten to that point.
Are you kidding
In
me?
Nigeria, we have not.
Yes.
My dear, we've not.
We have.
Whoa.
I don't
Are you
understand.
kidding me?
It's just the few ones that people are looking up to as
Celebrity.
We kidded you not.
I'm not
It's a
even
lie.
about
I
celebrities.
don't agree.
Yeah,
These
which
are not
ones?
even celebrities. These are not even celebrities.
The image of women you are painting in your mind is affecting you.
There's nothing like that. I say your family cannot even allow you at that stage.
They don't allow you. Say make you just stay.
Haba. A woman
How
that
many
even
women do you
to be
think can
shouting.
stand family pressure? How many? Can you stand? Even you. Can you
Yes, I
stand?
can.
You have not faced it.
Yes,
If you
I
faced
can.
it, you will know.
Jude.
Yes, I can.
Once you get to that point, I'll know if
It's
you
a lie.
can.
Man,
Wait,
fit face
no,
am.
no,
Man can. Man will
family
face
pressure.
it. No doubt.
You not face family pressure. Can you face family
Men
pressure?
don't even have to stand pressure.
Hey, Jesus!
Men, especially when they are bomb.
Joanne keeps shooting this bomb. This evening. Boom.
Men do not lie.
This one, no, I don't know this one.
Boom.
Fine wine.
Boom.
If you are talking of
Hey.
anybody that stands pressure,
Please.
If you're talking
Who
about
are
that
those people
stands
that
pressure.
easily succumb? They could have been dating a girl for like 10 years and then
Before
later
you know,
mom
they'll just
comes
buy
and
this
says,
thing.
look,
Oh, yeah.
and they cannot be
Look
like,
at this
my
one.
mom is on my neck, she's
It's my
standing on my
realistic.
neck,
Ah,
I can't
she's
help
from my
me,
village.
and all,
She wants
please,
this
she
thing,
wants
this girl,
her,
this
she
thing.
found her, and they'll be like, I said, you don't be like, are you telling me that you cannot stand and defend our relationship? Be like, you don't understand how my mom is. Men cannot stand pressure. Men cannot stand
now women
pressure.
that thing they catch the most
Ah.
now.
Men.
Not men.
Women
now.
are more strong.
I want this to call this thing. Why you? What do you used to call it? My mama said. My mom said in
Name
Igbo.
C.
Name C
My
or
mom
something.
C.
Mom C. This thing. My mom said.
You
And now branded. And now my mom said.
God.
My
So
mom said.
one Igbo man told you that. Oh shit.
Women are more strong-hearted than men. Men do not have the wherewithal to
Especially
handle
when their
pressure.
moms start coming to tell them that no, see this
Forget
woman,
her,
she's not
she's
from
a
the
city
same
woman.
She's a city woman that will come
That will not be following other
she's
men.
doing
Look how
good
she's
for PhD.
dressing.
See how
You
she's
not be like,
dressing. No,
but
come on,
you know, he will not be like, but I've been dating her.
It's like the picture of painting is the 13th century picture.
Modern men, look at them.
Modern men.
Modern men like
Because-
you and Sheyi. Modern men.
Like push me and Sheyi from
Can you
where?
stand your mom's pressure?
My mom's pressure.
Can you stand her pressure?
My dear, see.
If she stands on your neck, can you stand?
Wait, let me tell you. I
Can you stand
quarreled
your
with
mom's
I quarreled with my parents
You
for months.
don't
I wasn't
let
picking
go
their
of
call because of a babe, not from my
Me,
side.
I'm very,
So there
I'm
are
very,
plenty
very
guys that
firm
do that.
about my beliefs and my thoughts, and I stand by them,
And you can
regardless
stand- and you
of
can-
pressure.
Really?
Yes.
You can face your family?
Yes, because I want my best interest first.
Even when your family say they will disown you.
Disown me.
One.
They will not even say they'll disown me. Two.
Why?
Disown me to what?
Because you don't want
As
to
in,
say what
like
follow
disown
what
me
they're
to.
saying.
No, it's not even possible. You can't disown me
No,
because
let's
I
just say you are
chose.
from that kind of family. No, let's work with that.
For the sake of argument purposes.
You need to think about it. You need to think about it. If you are from that kind of
See, guy, if you're
family,
firm-hearted,
yes.
you'll be able to influence their opinions.
You will
be able to influence their
Influence her.
opinions.
work with what we've said, or else we'll disown you.
To where? Cotonou.
We're Africans. You can't do it without your family.
Whoa. Whoa. You
They say like this
Kore,
one, they say, go
Kore,
don't
proven.
you go don't agree for the family.
Proven. You see what I was telling you? Proven. Just hear what
Wait,
Emmanuel said.
I'm not telling you that you should not
Proven,
defend,
dude.
but I'm saying, can you do without your family?
Proven.
Do you know the place of a family?
Proven.
So what you're trying to tell
So
me?
you're saying that they're not toxic families? Like they're not toxic families? And today their parents
They are,
accepted
but the
that
ratio
decision.
to men is
Wait.
is lower.
My dear.
No,
My dear.
wrong.
Men go against
Wrong.
their parents the
My
most
God.
than women.
It's difficult to
That's
find
true.
a man that is
Go
actually
against-
willing to
against
go
their
What
family
against
he's
the
saying is
most
the truth.
than
Let's not
women.
argue it.
It's
Let's not
difficult
argue
to
it.
find a man.
Is it when the men that
Ah.
will say that, especially when they are more,
Crazy.
start saying,
Especially if they are
This
mom.
their mom.
They'll just say,
Their
But
they'll
you
just
see the women. I'm not saying some women can't be pressured. I'm not saying that they are. But don't come and say that a lot of women,
Yeah.
they will just
Give in.
like that and say that okay, I want to marry. If they will elope. What you're trying to say
a
is that
woman will even stand.
in fact,
Like,
women, there's so many times they'll be like, oh, I'll force my family because they never even supported the marriage.
Exactly.
Like it's just me and my husband and my
exactly. Do you know that I know? Do I actually know about a woman like that. So she actually thought her family were so wealthy, and then this guy, she actually liked him from her program. So she liked the guy and her family, they vehemently. Do you know, like she left that city they were in. She relocated with that man against, like for a year, even when she gave birth to her first child, like it was later like they came around, like she still tells her story and she's like, I stood by this man. Like it's not as if today he's like anything, like they're just fine. But still, like you can actually see the fact that okay, she's willing to go all out 100.
One out
Those
of them.
women, that woman.
Do you know how many guys have done the
Do you
same
know how many
thing?
guys have done the same thing you are saying? Eh?
Do you know how many guys?
Now guys know they even send family safe.
No.
They bullshit family anyhow.
It's a lie.
This thing is saying. This thing is saying is the
Do you know the only
truth.
part? Do you know the only time that men bullshit family are not is to engage in peer pressure? When it comes to the real thing, nothing.
I'm telling you,
Nothing,
you don't know.
She doesn't know. That's why she doesn't know.
don't know.
Nothing.
She doesn't know.
I'm so saying.
You don't
See,
know.
men are
For her to say that
pressured.
it's only when it comes to peer pressure that's when men flex muscle.
That's
You
where you
don't
flex
know.
muscles.
It's to the family that men.
You never see when man they climb papa and mama say I don't want to see
telling
people
you.
in my house.
Simple.
And what are you saying?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Those ones
Yes.
are in the movies.
No, you call
Which
it-
movies? Movies
Which
of where?
movie?
Which movie? African magic. Even this one you said is in African magic now.
Showcase.
Where that she left.
Wait, she left her parents and went to another town.
And that time only in
Now film for
African magic. African magic now. African
What's the name of the
epic?
Caro. That's the name of the film.
And most times, that's name is Caro.
Hey!
Caro. Or Scholastica.
Honestly speaking. But you guys, the good thing is that you know the truth.
What truth?
The good thing is that.
Back to the topic. I just know that there's nothing level. It's only female that settles.
I say it's only female. It's only female. Men settle.
Wait, are you actually saying that it's only females that settle?
No, the both gender settle.
I don't.
Wait.
Some men may settle, maybe 2%.
May settle. May settle. Really?
You would never.
Say you really?
Before you know it.
Before you see a guy that settles,
You've not met guys that settle.
It is the guy's
Have you met guys? Have you met guys that
what he prefers?
Oh, suddenly his preference when he got married to the woman, then his preference rebranded. There was a rebranding.
You know when a guy settles, like
when?
the example you guys gave. Maybe for example, he impregnated someone, and then the family said you must marry her. He has to settle for that one. But not when
some people
a guy is still 30.
You're not even be like, why did you now marry this girl?
Exactly.
You will pick his spec.
Do you understand?
Why did you marry
Pick
this
his
girl?
spec now.
You'll be hearing things after a week of marriage.
Why did you marry this
They're
girl?
already fighting. They never even show this. You
Like,
why did you not get married?
why? And he's already like,
It's due to other factors. It's not because he settled.
No.
It's due to other
it's
factors.
because he settled.
Probably he didn't know her character before. When he got in, he had not seen.
He didn't know her character, but his preference changed. But he didn't know her character. I thought it was character that made him settle. I thought it was character that made him settle.
No. I didn't say it's character that made him settle.
So after
This is only
So?
character.
one week that you not saw her character. Before the wedding, you didn't see her character. After that one.
Her character adjusted. There was a
Get married,
shift.
do you think you will know the character of your husband 100%?
Okay.
Yes or no? No, answer yes or no.
Who is talking
Will you know the character of your
100%?
husband?
Does he know his character 100%?
Wait.
Even him, he doesn't.
They always dull.
Even
Allow me
him,
to
he doesn't know his character 100%.
Will you know the character of your husband 100%?
You can never know anybody's character.
So what are you saying? What am I saying?
But you should know enough. You should know enough for the marriage to be sustained.
You yourself. You cannot even know.
Your character, Sheyi.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
So you cannot know anybody's character.
So what you're just saying now, it
But
doesn't
no,
tally with the
you should
argument
know.
you're saying.
You should know enough. You should
What you're
know.
just saying does not make sense.
You should know enough.
Farabale.
You should
You
know
just
enough.
said now that have you not heard of situations where some people get married and after 1 week, 2 weeks they are fighting? I said maybe because when they got married, the guy discovered some vices she had that he did not know before.
1 week.
And you are tackling me on that. And you just agreed with me that you cannot know a person's character 100%. So what are you saying?
I didn't agree with you. I said when you ask them, they'll be like, "Oh, it wasn't as if I liked that. I just wanted to get married to just."
Exactly.
Now lie. Now woman they talk that one. Not be man they talk that one. Now woman they talk that one. It's a lie. It's no guy will say that. No guy will say that. That I just married her. No, it's not possible.
You know,
I just married her. That what? No. I don't believe. I don't believe in that.
Just calm down.
Do you know what I'm saying? You cannot have issues. You cannot have issues in marriage after 1 week. And I know that you cannot know somebody's character 100%. I mean, people don't even know themselves 100%. But you should know enough to sustain the marriage. Like, why 1 week? Like, I don't get how will you get married in 1 week and then you just scatter and then you tell me character. And again, remember you talked about.
Are you saying all those people that their marriage scatter after 1 week is because they settled? Is that what you're saying?
No, Shay.
No, I just wanted to clear that.
Shay, do you know what?
Okay.
Do you know the thing is that with this whole marriage thing, you can't just pinpoint and say this is that. But the thing is, when we're talking about settling, there are actually guys that just get married. You never even be like, wow, see, like, why isn't it? Me, I beg, I just want marry, like, no time, I just want marry. Like,
wait, I just want marry person we are no like.
I just want, obviously.
Shay, what I tried to say.
Obviously, that's it.
Wait.
I just want marry,
guys. Like, because I just want marry.
I just want marry.
Just carry this one, put inside house.
Speak for yourself. You can't just say that, oh, it cannot happen. Speak for yourself.
Exactly.
You cannot marry someone that you don't like. You cannot say every guy out there.
Guys will not marry somebody they don't like. No guy will marry somebody he does not like.
How can you say?
It's not possible.
How can you say no guy?
No guy. I'm telling you.
I'm
He's married. He must see something where he like. Either maybe the babe get money, or her family get money or something. You can't tell me that a guy will not marry someone that he does not like.
He doesn't like at all.
No, don't tell me that. Now women they do that one because they don't look and say I need to. All my mates are married. Me too. I want to be married. Even if the let it shall be a man. It shall put me in his house.
80% of men marry people they don't like.
80 what?
30.
You are an arm robber.
Up to 30%.
You are a bandit. You are a bandit. You are a bandit. What? You are
happy marriages. Yes, and it doesn't change the fact that it's still
No,
happening tomorrow.
it doesn't mean that because wait. It doesn't mean that because they are in an unhappy marriage.
What you're saying,
that now means that.
You know what you guys do? You just pick a part of the whole thing I've been saying, and then now say, oh, do you mean that?
Do you mean that what?
Hold me not. What I am
Why
saying.
shouldn't we quote you when you are saying it?
See, don't take it out of context. That's what I'm saying. Put it. Don't come and say, "Oh, do you now mean that happy marriages are called by married people that you do not like?" No, I did not say it.
So what did you say? What did you say?
Please.
I said, speak for yourself. You are.
I'm speaking for the men race
Because
I'm a representative of the men, and I'm saying it here now, and I will keep saying it.
And Sheyi, because you will settle.
Me, it's not possible. It's not possible.
You'll be like, what, like it's shocking. Oh my guy, I just need to know
now I
time.
can't carry ugly woman put house.
No one is talking about ugly or something. No one is talking about no one is.
Or he just carry somebody he does not like.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now you're getting the
Let
point.
me just marry her.
Now you're getting the point.
In the long run, you get to like her. Probably.
I don't know about that one.
That one, if it happen,
can happen, bro.
If it happen, I'm not doubting that one. I'm not disputing that one. But what I'm saying is
that there must have been a
he go get something when the guy like
something. Yes.
He chose her. It's not as if
okay, so
he didn't have a choice. He chose her.
Exactly. Do you know what she is trying to do?
You know something. Some guys, they feel pick ugly woman. Say they won't marry this ugly woman because they know. Say if I put her for house, if I say sit down,
my peace they guarantee.
My peace, you don't get my point. So it's not as if he didn't have a choice. He could have decided to go for that figure 8 and put her in his house or another person. But because he don't know, say even put figure 8, if you don't tell her, make she sit down, make she sit down.
So
he decided to go for someone that he will talk to and that person will listen to him.
So you say
he had choices to make. He had options.
Yes.
When you're talking of settling, the person who get choice.
Are you saying now that? Are you saying now that for women?
Let me just
Are you saying that for women now? For a woman now, when she's of age and all, even if she's
36, 37, 38,
even if she
40.
sees a man that is right, everybody know him, he's a tough, she'll just be like, oh, my time is going and it's only this man.
If the guy says she won't marry him, she go marry him.
It's a lie.
I don't think it's true.
It's a lie.
I don't think it's true.
Lie.
I don't buy into that.
What do you even think of it? What do you even
think of
it?
Exactly.
I think, you know one thing I'm going to say, the kind of women Sheyi rolls with is all those kind of women.
The kind of who?
The kind of women.
You are a bandit. You are a bandit.
Yeah. You're wondering. Who are you meeting?
Wait. Why would they hype on herself?
Who are you meeting?
Why would they hype?
I don't think women have
Why would I hype myself?
You might say,
If you're meeting women
that
of
probably
this
maybe
age.
maybe before they get to that stage, they say maybe they want a guy that has too much money or all of this. But once they get to that part, they're now like, okay, this one doesn't have, but he has this.
But he has this.
Even men are being realistic.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. Everybody. Yes. Women.
Everybody moves from a place of fantasy.
Exactly.
Everybody. They toast to. Now man they toast woman. Now woman they toast man.
It's a
The two. Now you might ask questions.
The two.
Please hush, please.
Okay.
Talk to the end. I'm talking to you. Am
He has
talking to
answered.
you? I ain't talking to you. Hush.
Anybody that likes you,
Woman they
ask
toast
out.
man.
Yes.
You don't see where woman toast man.
Yes.
Wait. Oh yeah. If person want engage person, propose. Who they propose?
Okay, you didn't say proposal.
Calm down.
You didn't say proposal. You said toast.
Man, answer my
You said
question.
toast.
Oh yeah, I don't come out. Oh yeah, I don't come out toast.
Oh yeah, where you don't enter?
Propose.
For propose.
You don't ever see a woman wey propose to man say, will you marry me?
No.
Good.
But she go fit initiate am.
Thank you.
She fit initiate
She fit
am.
initiate
She
am.
fit no bring the ring nails down.
okay,
That's the man duty to do am.
So,
propose.
if she initiate am, that's if she dey give the man clue, abi.
Yes.
Say make the man propose to am.
Yes.
So whose choice is it to make the proposal?
The guy now.
Good. What am I trying to say now? It is the guy that makes the choice, not the woman that makes the choice.
Women still make
Hey!
choice.
How does she make the choice? She cannot predict who will propose to her now.
No, but she still has.
It just be like say woman now. I date woman now, for example. Okay, she likes me. She wants me to propose to her. I can decide not to propose to her.
And that one a different ball game.
No, be
but
different
she
ball game.
choose say, now this kind of person I go like one day.
Bam. Now, me when she like, I no propose to him. But another guy dey, she not too like the guy. That one propose to him. And she don't be 38, 39.
And you think she's
You think say she no go accept that guy proposal?
No,
she
she's
go
not.
dey wait for me?
She will not.
In this part,
Let's be sincere.
I feel she's going to accept this one
opinion.
because
Bam.
if this guy is wasting time.
Your opinion.
No, it's not his opinion.
Your
No.
He's not speaking for us. No, she doesn't.
And she's saying that this guy is not going to say anything.
No.
Wait, at what time?
What do you mean at what time?
At what time?
This one that is proposing. This one that is proposing is responsible.
No, then you're saying she's settled.
Desperate,
Then you're still saying she's settled.
Yeah, she's settled now. That's what we're saying.
She's settled.
That women settled.
Sheyi, remember, Sheyi, do you know what
I'm
you're
not.
doing? Do you know you're doing that thing
that
again?
women do.
Sheyi, you're doing that thing again.
What am
That
I
thing you
doing?
always do. You bring a scenario and then you rope all the conversation into that. This is one scene. Sheyi,
I just gave you an example.
That's
You
what
said
I
bring a scenario.
Please
What
bring
do
it.
you want to say?
You bring that scenario and
Because
say,
one
I know what you're doing, but this is one. Let's even agree. This is even
Sure.
one scene.
Exactly.
So you're not saying that women don't
You're
settle.
saying
Give me
for
another
all
scene.
women.
Give me another scene.
You're saying all women.
Give me another
So what
scene.
you're trying to tell me
talking in
that
generality.
all women that are 40.
Any woman that is above 37
Uh-huh.
would definitely settle. For any man, she says.
No, she will not.
So if she sees
She
a
will not.
drug or a
She
drug
will
addict
not.
or a mafia,
She
she
will
will
say she will
settle.
change him. She will say she will change him.
She will not. Let me tell you.
She will change him.
She will not. She's going to make
Am I
her
not
change.
speaking?
Am I not speaking?
Controversial. Lie. She don't go do like that.
She's
going to
she'll
make her choice.
change the mafia.
I don't believe that one. I
She'll
don't
say
believe
she'll
that one.
change the
She
mafia.
will say she will change him.
You're even saying mafia. So you're telling me
In
that
fact,
a well-to-do
now
woman.
woman language be that.
So
said.
wait.
I will change him. Don't
So
worry,
what?
we'll get married. I will change. We will
They
change.
lie.
Which
What you're
woman
trying to
are
tell
you
me that a
meeting?
woman of let me say high caliber, or do you understand? She's working. She's making her
She's
own money.
big.
She's big.
Yeah.
She's not just. She's going to go and marry a riffraff just because she's 40.
She will touch him up.
No, she will
Oh,
not.
She will
Jesus.
touch him up.
She will not.
Yeah.
She has the money. She will
She
touch
has the
him
money
up.
to go and marry a riffraff. Let me
she
tell you.
Are you
those
saying it's not happening?
I'm not saying it's not happening,
Yes, what are you
but
not
I'm
saying?
just saying that it's not in all cases.
Exactly.
That one,
Korede.
because she has decided to
Korede.
marry the riffraff.
Korede.
That is her own.
A woman
that
is
her own
38.
So she's just going to settle.
She no see person say, will you marry me? She can't see one guy. One guy just come out from
One
nowhere.
riffraff. One riffraff.
Let's even use your language,
Never.
your words.
Yes.
Riffraff.
Yes.
Wait,
Use
you
it.
don't get money, you don't get car, you
She
don't
will
get
not
anything.
settle.
She will
The
not
guy
settle.
can't. She can't say the guy is.
See,
you know,
The guy go give am
She-
this
peace.
guy go give am
So because
peace.
she's a
Sheyi.
guy, like so because
She
she's
can't
Listen, the
propose.
guy will
If
give
you
you
The guy not
peace.
propose to her.
Sheyi.
She will not say,
If
no, I
you
won't
raise-
marry him.
if
I
you
will
This
raise-
one
wait.
is going to give me peace. It's going to make a
For-
good
I will
marriage.
wait for Prince Charming.
give her.
Let me wait.
No, no.
I'm not
Even
talking
if you
about,
don't go give
no,
her peace.
I'm not
No,
talking
no,
about
that
giving
one.
it.
She don't
Giving
go
her
compare to you,
peace.
give her wahala.
I'm not talking about
Emma.
giving her peace. I'm talking about maybe just a random person that she doesn't even have anything for, or someone that. you
Except
know that
because before
doesn't
they get
have
to
any
that stage of
future.
actually
No,
knowing
do
if
you
she'll give him
understand?
peace or
I
not.
don't
She's
think a
going
lady
to
will settle
settle.
for that kind of person.
If you said this 20 years ago,
I
15
agree.
years ago,
I
I
promise.
would agree.
But today?
today,
No.
no.
Sheyi,
Especially the girls
if you
like
are-
Korede that stubborn.
No, why all this thing I like, John? What
No.
did they tell me?
No.
When pressure
Part
hits them well, they go know what they happen.
pressure?
What are you?
So
what
what
are
you're
you?
trying to tell
What
me
are
that
you
there are
saying?
no women that are
A woman-
38 that are not married?
They are not married,
a woman is
and they are
38,
rejecting
39.
proposals.
When we say
rejecting-
she get serious respect for her family, she will contact say, no, I'm
Are you
an
married for this
independent
family?
woman. Independent waiting.
People that you are
My
running
friend go and
with
marry.
understand.
What are you saying?
See.
I don't need to argue
Brother,
with you honestly because
brother,
you're
see,
actually
see,
what
brother,
what
let me
you
explain
can-
something to
I
you.
already understand
What
the
they are
kind of
saying
people you
is
roll
the
with.
truth. See,
I roll with you.
when
You don't roll with
It's
me.
you I roll
See,
with.
You don't roll with me.
I will not call
I roll with
I will
you,
not
I
call
roll
a
with
bank
you,
I
I
roll
roll
with
with me.
back in the days.
Uh,
One of our branch manager then, as at then I knew that she was close to 38. Since then till now, she should be in her late 40s. She's still not married. She get money pieces. Like now, baby go stay Saturday. Just say, I dey go London. I will go watch Arsenal match. Now die hard Arsenal fan. She get mad money.
why you think say she never married?
She don't marry up to now. I tell you.
No, man,
so are men not coming to her?
No, men they come. Men they come.
Why you think
she probably doesn't want to settle?
Maybe she don't see the kind of person she can want.
That's even it. That's even it.
Don't say she don't get pressure.
I'll tell you why she's not married.
Why she
doesn't see herself under a man. That's why she's not married. It's not as if she don't see. It's sure for me, she go dey punch some of those ones where they come to stand. They go, they do them on a low-key. But she doesn't see herself submitting to a man. That's why she's still not married. That's why she's not married. It's not as if she has not seen her spec.
Is this not choice? So is this not choice? Wait, Korede, is this not choice?
It's not choice.
So it's not choice.
She decided to stay unmarried. She doesn't want to be under a man.
Is it not choice?
It's a choice. It's a choice.
The choice we are talking of here is choice of picking a woman, picking a man. No, it's not choice. It's not choice.
You're defining choice. You're giving choice your own definition.
Madam, it is not choice.
No, that's what you're doing.
And I will explain why it is not choice. Can I explain?
No, you
can I explain?
No,
you cannot. Do I have the floor to explain?
No, you don't have the floor.
Okay, then
allow him to explain.
Allow
him to explain.
Can I explain,
please? Yes, you can explain.
Can I please explain?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you very much. Now, when I say it's not choice, this is why I say it's not choice.
You just be changing
this is a woman
that. If it was a man, if this was a man now, is it choice? Wait, if this was a man, if it was a man now, remove the woman. You say it's choice.
If it's a man,
you say it's choice.
Let's listen now. Let's listen to him.
Wait, if it was a man,
let's listen to him first now.
If it was a man,
you say he chose.
That was in this scenario now. I won't say he chose. What I'm going to say
you don't see him being under a woman.
That is his person. He doesn't want to get married.
But this is not her person.
No, that is her own person too. She doesn't want to get married.
But she can't tell that.
It's different from I don't want to get married to someone who is not my spec. Get the point I'm making. There are two parallel lines. No, listen. There are two parallel lines. Just listen very well. Just listen. Don't worry, babe. Listen. Two parallel lines. I don't want to get married at all. Even if I see my spec. That's one line. Even if I see my spec, I don't want to get married at all. That is one. There is another woman that says, oh, I want to get married, but it must be my spec. There are two different things.
So these two things.
This one is said now. This one is said now. She doesn't want to get married, even if she sees
she told you that
a millionaire, someone that has money more than her, a Prince Charming, she will still not marry.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Okay, let's agree. Let's agree.
She will still not get married.
It's a lie. That goes she said he wants to marry and she said no. I don't want to marry.
But like a woman like that, I'm telling you, she'll get married.
Oh my God.
She has her own money. She's a career woman. What does she need a man for?
Korede,
thank
you. Do you know what I'm saying?
My darling.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
It's still choice. It's still choice. When people start saying, I do not want, when want is involved, it's choice.
It's choice.
It's still choice.
Related to the topic we're discussing, we said as women age, do their choice of a partner drop? That's what we are discussing. We are not talking about do they settle? We are not talking of a woman that has decided that she doesn't even want to get married at all.
Whatever. But do they settle?
See.
This woman, did she settle?
See.
For who?
For any of the men that have been coming because of that.
In his example.
Yes.
She didn't settle for anybody now. She's not willing to pick anybody.
But she does not have family that is pressurizing her.
She can decide and say, oh no.
She go.
Sir, I don't want to get married. It's not.
But
I don't want to get married.
Her, my friend, go marry.
No, yeah, they can tell her to go and get married. And she will tell them that, oh, I don't want to get married.
These are the women that we want in your mind. Where you're taking, not the 10th century women. We want this kind of women.
How many of them? How many women of today can decide and say, I'm not going to get married in this life? How many?
That was why I said that question. That if you said what you said, if you said it 15, 20 years ago, I would agree. But now, in this,
are you saying that now, babes are willing to stay unmarried for the rest of their life rather than settle? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that I'm not saying there are not some women. But you cannot say that.
It's a thing for the female gender.
Some people say they are not even up to 30.
And they settle, yes.
Just because they want to get married early or something. But for you to say that all women in the whole of this world, they settle. You are nodding your head like a gamma lizard. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not possible. It is not true at all.
I hear you.
Even let me tell you, even some women that they are not even as rich as the person you're talking about.
Yes,
they will still say no. I'm not going to go and marry any
riffraff.
I'm going to wait. I don't care. Now, even now that
and if they don't see their spec, they will keep waiting till
it's
eternity.
not about spec. Nobody's talking about spec. They just don't want to get married to. That's what I'm saying. We all know that when as you get older, you know your priorities change.
Yes.
Do you understand? It changes.
You are more in touch with reality.
You're more realistic about your choices, about what you want. You understand? You're not living in the fantasy that I want a tall, dark, and handsome. You're more particular about the attributes,
Yes.
the person's capabilities,
Yeah.
His behavior,
Yeah.
and what he can, his capabilities, whatever.
That's
Do you
right.
understand? What he can offer you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you're not talking about, oh, no, I want Prince Charming. No, he's not tall, he's not short, he's not, do you understand? He's not romantic
Just looking for
enough
someone
and
that'll
something.
take care of you.
No one is talking about take care of you.
No, we're saying you move from a place of fantasy to a
No,
place
you
of
move from a
realism.
place of,
Welcome again to the newsroom. These are the stories we're tracking at the moment. The Amnesty International has decried what it described as the utter failure of the Nigerian authorities to learn from the outbreak of the Chibok town in Borno State and ultimately to protect children. According to the group, since the incident years ago, the Nigerian authorities have not carried out a single credible investigation into security failures that left children vulnerable to the atrocities committed by Boko Haram and the government. Non-governmental organization made the assertion in a statement on Friday upon the backdrop of the 9th anniversary of Boko Haram's adoption of 276 students from a girls' secondary school in Chibok. The Lagos state government has suspended all development plans in Banana Island after the collapse of a 7-story building under construction on First Avenue. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, in a statement on Thursday, disclosed that the halt was subject to a comprehensive audit by the officials of Lagos State Building Control Agency. He also revealed that the audit will help the state government determine the number of buildings being constructed without proper approval, as well as verify if approved buildings are being built in line with the approval limits provided. The Zamfara State Police Command says it has rescued 9 victims abducted by bandits in Kusheri village of Tasfa local government area of the state. In a statement by the Public Relations Officer of the command, CSP Mohammed Shehu, the victims were rescued last Wednesday by the police tactical operatives. In a related development, some bandits have allegedly received a sum of 3 million naira levy they imposed on people of Wanzamai village, where about 85 people, mostly women and children, were kidnapped. The State Commissioner of Police, Kofo Yusuf, reassured the public of sustained onslaught against the activities of bandits and other criminal elements. The Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, says the global economy has proven remarkably resilient to multiple shocks, but has yet to overcome a combination of real growth and sticky inflation. Georgieva told a news conference at the IMF and World Bank meeting in Washington on Thursday that after recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic and suffering setbacks from the high inflation and spillover from the war in Ukraine, policymakers have 2 main tasks in the near term: fighting persistent inflation and safeguarding financial stability. She added that the IMF projection of the 2.8% global growth for 2023 is not enough to bring opportunities to businesses and people around the world. Workers of Moma Marine Limited, a pipeline surveillance firm in the oil mining list 30, on Thursday has shut down oil installations in the facility over alleged non-payment of 6-month salaries owned by the company. The shutdown reportedly caused disruption of operation and oil activities of the MPDC at the Erimeo Piggin Manifold in the Ugeli North local government area of Delta State. MPDC was alleged of having plans to terminate their jobs by revoking the contract from their contracting firm. And on foreign scene, 3 opposition parties in the Republic of Congo have joined forces ahead of the next election, for which veteran headline leader Denis Sassou Nguesso is a potential candidate. The Alliance for Democratic Change in 2026, unveiled on Thursday, brings together 3 parties that have grassroots support but no legislative seats. The new alliance says it would focus on trying to overhaul the country's electoral supervisors. And in sports, Manchester United coach Erik ten Hag has expressed confident that the team can still qualify for the semi-finals of the Europa League despite the 2-2 draw with Sevilla at Old Trafford. Speaking after the disappointing home draw, Ten Hag pointed out that though United will be without some players, they are capable of going through ahead of Sevilla. United will face Sevilla in the European League quarter-final second leg on April 20th. That's all on the newsroom at the time. Thank you for watching. I am Tamilore Akinkolie.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world. A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.